Percy, wait.
Siri_bot is here. Saribo arrive. Bot
I mean, the
Rix
fact
has
that you can
successfully
stack up
joined
your
the
frenzy
channel.
now, though, with only 5 attacks is really nice. So you could also stack up your frenzy right before you go before declone, and you'll get the buff for 30 seconds or whatever when you start the fight.
All right, fix my shit. My shit got all fucked. All right, hold on. Let me log on live right now and see what it looks like compared to what it looks like on beta. As far as, oh, never mind. Servers are down. Can't join. Sick, dude. Discord.
I'll give you a link to the guy that's killing declone. Apparently, this is his first time doing it, but he's clamping it, so I'm guessing he kills it for throw barb. But his gear is obnoxious.
Can I play single player? Oh, I can play single player. All right, let me get on barb. All right, so on barb right now, throwing mastery improves throw weapon skill. You get pierce, damage, and attack rating, and 5% chance of critical strike. What does it say on, like, the throwing mastery change?
I don't think they changed that though. There's only the other masters that got changed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, throw barb is definitely better for this than
Jab is on.
than Zerk. 100%.
Soul Drainers, Dungos, Raven, Waterwalks. Ugh. Fix your charms, you fucking bastard. Auto commands maxed.
See how Frenzy has 27 on there? It's 27 because that's like the break point.
Got 27 on Grimoire too. Holy shit.
Yeah, it does a lot of, yeah. Will give you a lot of AR analog damage. But you have to put down the corpse all the time. But it lasts for a long time though. I mean, he destroyed it.
He said, I never charge full frenzy, but let's see. Oh, you got full frenzy, buddy. Bro, you're gonna lose your frenzy stacks, you fucking noob. Oh, you keep your frenzy stacks?
Yeah, that's what I told you.
What?
Earlier.
No other build does that?
You know the bear, the hunger, or whatever it's called?
Dude, what the fuck is that noise? Oh my god, my ears. All the Nova's going off. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's from the War Streak. I'm guessing you wear the War Streak because it's really fast and it gives you 50% deadly strike.
You could do that, or you can do Wraith, Flight, and Lacerator too. Both work.
Why would you use Lacerator though? You can't put it on declone. There's no point wearing that shitty weapon.
Oh yeah, it's for mapping. Whatever. Then you just change
Yeah,
it for War Strike.
whatever this guy did, just copy that. If you want to do a boss killer, just copy that. He clamped it.
Oh, it pings off the fucking thing and hits him? Oh, no wonder. Yeah, look at him, he's melting him. This is T2 as well, right?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's the
It's
most...
fast forwarded. It's fast forwarded.
Is it? It
like...
doesn't look like it. It's not. Dude, he's doing almost 100k DPS in a boss fight. That's actually crazy. Trang Owl's jawbone dropped. What? Items can drop in here? Like regular shit?
I think you could drop that stuff, but it's like the chances of it's like pretty rare. Because that thing can drop from any item.
Yeah, that came from the skeletons.
Oh yeah, I dropped a unique map when I was testing this. I dropped a unique map from one of them skeletons.
From the skeletons?
Yeah.
Yeah, a Trang Owl's jawbone dropped from the skeleton. The mapping material, or not mapping material, whatever that, for bossing material, for Rathma, I guess?
Mirror could drop enough too.
No way.
But it's a 1 in 20 million chance, so yeah, the chances of it happening is zero, almost zero. But
so how does double throw work? It pings off shit, it bounces off shit?
You've literally never played it with it before?
I've never played it ever. Never, ever, ever.
The reason why it works here, it's because you'll throw it at something and then the more points you have into it, it'll bounce from target to target. The little spears. But it's not. It's okay, but it's not like super powerful.
Oh,
you know
he just grim warded. Look how fucking fast he's killing him, dude. Yeah, he can't escape the damage. Eclone just gets fucked by this. And you can easily just dodge all the mechanics because you're a barb. Wow. What a joke. What is this number? 115 SRCS, so 185 seconds. 3-minute kill. Is that really fast?
Yeah, I don't know if this was yeah, it's pretty quick. I'm thinking that's before the health numbers got adjusted. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I would say yes, because he's killing everything so quickly.
Well,
but
regardless, double throw is going to be better with the crit changes, so... Druid changes, testing results.
Hello, and welcome to
oh,
today's
man, dude.
and final class.
Whatever, you little bitch.
I'm tired, man.
I'm tired of you being tired.
Yeah, I know. I gotta wake up tomorrow, though. I gotta wake up tomorrow at 7 to take my kid to school, man.
Oh, the filter's not working again. What the fuck? What the hell? Is it broken again?
Yes.
No, the filter's broken again. What the fuck, dude? I gotta whisper him. Alright, whatever, pussy lips. See you tomorrow. Sleep dreams.
Word to your brother, your mother, my father, sis. All right, Meyer, later.
Alright, later.
Greetings.
Greetings. Yeah, it's bugging again. Damn, can I switch it to different, like Amazon? That fixes it. No, it doesn't fix it. Damn. Alright. And we'll go back to Marlowe.
Closed beta testing result video for this week. We went through all the other classes. Druid was the last one to get picked, and he got some serious changes to him. There are definitely some things to talk about and some changes we need to understand and see what they mean for the future of Druid, playing Druid, and where you can go. So that said, let's get started. We're going to get started with his summoning skill tree. This is the one that people are kind of talking about the most. It got 3 main changes, 2 small ones relatively, and one of them very meaningful. Oh, I say 2 small ones, but like I'll kind of explain what I mean. I'll start with the Ravens, things that changed most people want to talk about. Ravens were changed to be called Summon Ravens, and that is the least important change about what happened to them. So their damage got nerfed, their base damage got nerfed, and also their synergies got nerfed. So before they had higher synergy with Grizzlies and Wolves, they had better base damage, basically like double the base damage. So they got nerfed pretty hard in terms of their both like scaling in normal and in Nightmare and in Hell even, because all their synergies are worse now. But a more important change is that from now on they will only do cold damage. And why is that more important? So before, the whole like summon druid archetype was or like the main summon druid archetype was centered around physical damage, buffing with Heart of Wolverine, all the pets, and also using an Act 4 merc for amp, or other mercs that can proc amp to get like amplified damage, break monsters' immunities and physical resistances, and deal even more damage. Now that Ravens only deal cold damage, suddenly they're not that important in that kind of composition. They don't have the same synergy they used to. They don't enjoy the same damage. And yes, they did enjoy Heart of Wolverine in the past. This will no longer be the case since they don't do any more physical damage. So that's a pretty big nerf from a lot of different directions to Ravens, and it makes them a lot less viable anywhere outside of normal. Basically, they don't do as much. Now I have tested leveling with Druid, and I don't think there is a better skill still for leveling than summoning. I still think this is the best one. It's just significantly worse than it used to be, and we'll definitely bring it down as kind of like as an option. You can level with things like Arctic Blast. You can level with things like Molten Boulder and Volcano. It's not that you can't. It's just it's not super effective. Even with Tornado, it's like possible to level. I don't recommend leveling with the shifters. It's kind of like it's kind of stinky and inconsistent. So that's generally my opinion, at least. So all these nerfs to Ravens, what do we get in return? So we didn't really get any buffs to Wolves or Bears, and it is a question whether you want to even like go in this direction anymore. I would have been really happy if they changed the synergies on Wolves and Bears from like being Ravens and Direwolves and Ravens and Spirit Wolves to just the Bears and the Wolves being synergies for each other, since now they're the physical part, the skill tree, and Ravens just being synergized with something else for like a cold build, because they're now cold skills. They're just cold damage skills, so they don't really fit in with these fellas anymore. We will see if this will happen. I don't really know if that's a direction they want to go in, but that is at least my feedback for this Raven situation. Onwards to Harder Wolverine. Harder Wolverine lost both damage and attack rating bonuses, 2% per level, which was a 50% nerf to its like per level growth. So that is also pretty big. I'm not sure why this change was implemented, since they killed, like I say killed, but like killed the viability of Ravens as a bosser. Summon Druid wasn't particularly strong outside of that. Summon Druid wasn't like a top mapper. He was like a solid mapper and a good leveling spec. But Harder Wolverine was mostly kind of like buffing end game, not really early game, and they wanted to nerf the early game. The bossing viability is completely gone, so I'm not sure why the nerf to Wolverine. It seemed a bit out of nowhere to me, since it also affects the shifters, and the shifters were fine, I guess, with how it was. So I'm kind of wondering why that happened. I'm not sure myself, but I guess that was the choice they decided to make. Also, the attack rating nerfs as well, not just damage nerfs. So I'm kind of wondering about where this change came from. Last change to the summoning skill tree is Spirit of Barbs, and now Spirit of Barbs is giving Deadly Strike. That is something I did not see coming. I had a bunch of ideas as to how to buff Spirit of Barbs in the past. I always wanted it to be a viable skill, and maybe they got something here. It will now give max Deadly Strike. It seems a little out of theme for it, but it is something. So it will give Deadly Strike every other level. It gives Deadly Strike, and every 4th base level it will give max Deadly Strike, meaning it can give up to max 5 Deadly Strike, which is interesting. The main problem with this is that Druid doesn't want this. And what do I mean when I say Druid doesn't want this? The Summon Druid pets, as far as I know at least, cannot get Deadly Strike. That's not something they can do, which means that if you're getting this, you're just getting it for your team, or you're a shifter that dumps the rest of his points into Spirit of Barb, but that is pretty underwhelming. So I don't really know. Again, I don't really know what that's going for. There is maybe a world where physical shifters now run two spirits, right, with Spirit Keeper, and they run Wolverine and Spirit of Barbs together to get as much physical damage as possible. I don't know if that's like a super great world to be in, but maybe that's something they can do. But that's pretty much the change to Spirit of Barbs. That's the changes in this tree. I was pretty surprised Poison Creeper wasn't touched, because it was pretty top tier mapper and is now basically the best Druid mapper that we have left. And we're kind of going to talk about all the other mappers and like the end game specs for Druid.
Poison Creeper?
Overall, just to kind of sum it up, what does these changes mean for Summon Druid? I've tested Summon Druid in leveling, and he's still okay. He's still usable. So if you're planning to run Summon Druid early next season, you can still do that. The main changes are you're not going to want to bot with it in declone, and if you're going to go into Ubers, you're going to need more gear. You're going to need more gear, more skill levels, just because it's not as easy as it used to be. The Ravens are not going to carry you in terms of the damage anymore, so it's just something you want to pay attention to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's still viable, still a good leveling spec, and you'll be okay. Alright, let's move on to the next skill tree, and this is the shape-shifting skill tree. This one got a few minor changes, main one being like the Fury splash damage. So as you can see, now it says attack 1, 2, and 3 give additional splash damage. It'll be 20, 40, and 60%, very similar to Jab and Zeal. And these changes feel pretty great on Fury. We have tested mapping with Fury, and Fury feels fine in maps, much better than it used to. The main buff here, in my opinion, is the buff to bossing. Both in Declone and Lucian, dealing with the ads for Fury was the more difficult part. It has pretty good single target damage after all, but being able to kill all the minions was more like the issue. So this is definitely a good change there for the Fury build. It did still get nerfed by the change to Wolverine, losing attack rating and damage. So again, I don't know if like in the overall grand scheme of things now it's like much better, but it definitely felt overall better for Fury. So that's kind of like a nice change. There were a lot of changes around that will affect it, of course, but that does seem to be pretty good for him overall. The other skill that kind of got changed is Fire Claws, and Fire Claws got changed in a more roundabout way through the elemental skill tree. So I'm going to talk about when we're going to get to the skill, but let's start one by one here. from the top to the bottom. Arctic Blast was changed. Now at level 1 it gets more enemy cold resistance, meaning it's slightly stronger already from level 1. And it will scale better into endgame because now it is no longer capped. It used to be capped at 40%, minus 40% to enemy cold resistance. It's no longer capped. Just to kind of demonstrate how many points you need. You can see at level 20 it gives minus 25. So for leveling, this is not a huge change. It's a small change for leveling. I don't think it will make it big enough so that in leveling you'll use it over summoning. At least not for most people. It's very good in normal, but in Nightmare it felt kind of like meh, and in Hell it felt very underwhelming. So again, but in endgame this will give it a little bit more damage. And now Arctic Blast was never a skill that lacked damage in endgame. It was already a good endgame build in that sense. So it might drag people's attention to it, but I don't think it's a major buff to it as an endgame build. So overall, I think the skill is generally the same. It's a small general buff with slight more damage in the endgame. I haven't tested it in the super min-max, BIS setup kind of thing. And I haven't tested if it can do the double fortified map because it was, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, announced that the double fortified maps are most likely not going to make it to season 13. So I'm just gonna put that on the back burner until they decide to bring it back. But it seemed to be overall slightly better, which is a nice change. The next skill that got changed is Cyclone Armor, and Cyclone Armor got 2 new synergies with Hurricane, not with Hurricane, sorry, with Twister and Tornado. I'm surprised that Hurricane didn't get one, because it's like a Cyclone Armor, but okay. Anyway, it gets 10% damage, not 10%, sorry, plus 10 damage absorbed per level. It's a very similar change to what we had, not change, sorry, it's a very similar situation to what we have with Bone Armor. Bone Armor and Cyclone Armor were always kind of similar, where like Bone Armor is the physical one and Cyclone Armor is kind of an elemental armor. So I always thought that would be appropriate. They will have some synergies, especially with skills that share like the tornado effect with it. And overall, this will buff builds like Arctic Blast, Twister, Tornado, all these builds will be slightly better because the Cyclone Armor is going to be better, which is definitely nice to see. Now next on to Twister and Tornado. And Twister and Tornado got changes that are very nice for their early game kind of viability, and I'll talk about why that's not it's not enough for me in a moment. But Twister and Tornado both got damage upgrades, slight damage upgrades, and they also got a change to, let me put like 20 points in them. They got a change to how much cooldown reduction they give to Gust. So before they gave 0.25 per cast, and now they give 0.5 per cast. Now this is pretty interesting because 0.5 per cast means basically there's no cooldown on Gust. If you teleport and Twister once, you won't have a cooldown. And why is that cool? It's cool because now if you proc like a Twister or a Tornado via Innocence, for example, you will be able to chain teleports, which is pretty cool. It's a cool thing that I hope people are going to experiment with. I experimented with it last season already, so I kind of know that it's kind of like a cool, funky thing. But it all brings us back to one question: do Twisters and Tornadoes deal enough damage? And I feel like the answer to that is still kind of a no. In like early farming of maps like Tornado and Twister, or mostly Twister, I will say, because Tornado's projectile is just awful. Like I hate how slow and sluggish this thing is. But Twisters do feel pretty good, right? I can hop on a Twister setup that we did during the stream. Right, pretty cheap Twister setup, and make sure that I'm actually spec for it. And your Hurricane, Tornado, and Arc Blast, right? So we want to do this basically, and I'll just put all my points here just so we can see kind of like the no cooldown situation. Oh, I forgot to be able to wear my gear. Right, so I can hop into a map. 25. Ooh, they're already implementing the change to the tiers. That's the first time that I see a tier 2 sewers. Anyway, you can kind of see that I can like do kind of like yeah, I mean, I'm teleporting with no pets, with no anything. I guess it's pretty obvious that I'll die. I want to just kind of demonstrate the speed of teleport. That's my bad. I apologize. I'll do it over here instead of in a map. So you can kind of see that you can like do this kind of like teleport immediately kind of thing, right? So it's pretty nice that you can do this now. Now, is that important? As I said, the damage buffs were slight damage buffs, and twisters are still not going to one-shot everything they're touching, right? Even not even in maps, like just in LOD, they don't one-shot everything they touch. So is it important that the cooldown is reduced by that much? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's important. Maybe it's nice for mobility for people who want to farm LOD, so they have a little bit better teleports now. Maybe it is a little nice, but I don't think that's enough to push this build to be like a main mapper. I feel like a lot of people, after they map with this, they want to transition into something else because they in the end feel like they're not doing enough damage to keep up with tier 3 maps. So this is just like something about this build. I really like Tornado. I feel like it's a great starter. It's a great build to farm on early, and it really does well in maps. Like we managed to bring it to 6 to 6.5 minute tier 1 maps, which is pretty good on like a pretty low budget. You'll see like my general gear here is like some rare items and like some cheap, you know, uniques. So again, I feel like the build is good. It's not a bad build. But I just wish the damage buffs were a little bigger, and that maybe we made like this projectile a little faster, a little bigger, just so it feels like a tornado and not like a little slug that falls on your screen. And yeah, that's pretty much the changes to Tornado. Now let's move on to a few of the fire changes. We talked about Arc Blast, we talked about NATO. Let's talk about Fire Druid. Fire Druid got nerfed again. And last season it got nerfed, and people were really worried that Fire Druid is gone and they got nuked. He didn't get nuked last season. Spoiler alert, he didn't get nuked this season either. We tested him, he's still fine. Slightly worse, just like last time. Slightly worse than he was. He was a top mapper, but he got nerfed again. And Volcano will now deal less damage overall. There's more or less damage. I think they're looking for the sweet spot of like where Volcano should be. I thought like last season was fine already. Now it's definitely like I wouldn't nerf the skill anymore. I'm just gonna put it out here. I wouldn't nerf it more. I think like the skill still can do tier 3 maps pretty fast. And Druid needs at least one good mapper, right? 1 or 2 good mappers, right? Because we can't not play anything on Druid. So yeah, I guess this is definitely as much as I would nerf it from now on. Now one more skill was changed for Fire Druid, and it's Armageddon. And Armageddon got reduced synergies on Molten Boulder and Volcano. Overall nerfed Fire Druid again on its like kind of like AoE damage. But it was buffed for Fire Claws because it was given a 5% Fire Claw synergy. So overall, Fire Claw is going to do more damage with Armageddon than the classic Fire Druid. I'm not against this change necessarily. I feel like it's a little bit unimportant for Fire Claw, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think that's like very important to give him more AoE damage, because I never played Fire Claw as a mapper. But I think for many people did ask for Fire Claw as a mapper, so I do think they're kind of like answering that with like the changes to Armageddon. And yeah, that will overall be like Fire Claw will be a little bit better in maps, so hopefully people will try it out and be happy with it. But yeah, these are the changes to Druid, so that pretty much sums it. So we got a bunch of nerfs, a bunch of changes. A lot of people were calling PD2 Project Druid 2 for a little while, and yeah, pretty much definitely not the case, not for season 13. Still has some strong builds. I think Fire Druid and Poison Creeper are still amazing mappers, super high tier, S tier kind of mappers. I do think that the changes to Ravens mandated kind of like a buff to the Wolves or the Bears. I don't like that they were not paired with a buff to the Wolves or the Bears. And while I do like this change to Spirit of the Bards, I do think that overall nerfing like spirits for summoners while buffing them for other builds is not really the priority after a big nerf to the summons archetype. So again, these are kind of like my thoughts about the Druid. Let me know what you think about the Druid changes. I'd love to hear them in the comments. This is the last class change video. I'll upload like one more overall look at the beta and the things that changed, what we got, what we lost kind of video probably tomorrow after we test some final builds. I do have in plan to have a a video about like every leveling spec that you need to know for each class, like one way to level each class. It's gonna cover like at least one way to level each class for people who are starting season 13 and are not sure how to go through that journey to level 80, to the maps, to like early farming. So I'm gonna have a video, one video for each class. I'm also planning out a lot of budget guides and a few non-budget guides for season 13 that will come out, and they will all come out during this week leading up to the season launch. I kind of heard the feedback from last season. Many people wanted me to upload more videos before the season started and not after it started. So I'll do my best this time to get them all out in time. But yeah, this kind of almost concludes our beta testing week. And the open beta is coming up on Monday. So if you want to participate in the open beta, everybody can join it. And it'll be hopefully a lot of fun, a small taste of season 13. Lets you practice or kind of explore new things. So definitely be tuned for that. We'll of course be part of that as well, and more updates will come about that tomorrow. With all that said, thank you so much for watching today's video. It was a little bit longer. The Druid is a class that we hold dear to our heart, and that we might have had some part in nerfing. So apologies to all the lovers, and I guess you're welcome to all the haters. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next stream or in the next video. And until the next time, have a good whatever you're having, and bye bye bye.
Have a good whatever you're having, and bye bye bye.
Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm bringing you another guide from Project Diablo 2 Season 12 Beta. This is the closed beta, meaning that I don't have access to any slams, and I think this is the kind of build that will enjoy slams a lot, so beware, this build is a lot more powerful than this guide will make it look like, and it's going to make it look pretty good. Today we're tackling the ultimate dat build, the one button master, and it is the Summoner Creeper Druid. So what is the Summoner Creeper? It's a build that relies on Poison Creeper to do a lot of your damage. Not all of your damage, but a lot of it. And we're going to show you how you do it. There's a bunch of ways to tackle it. It's actually a build that has a lot of room for creativity in terms of your gear and a lot of different options, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to showcase just like the kind of like the baseline and what you can do from there. So the way you want to level this, so we're going to start talking about the skills and attributes. Then we'll go into gear. And after that, I'll do a demo, and we can all enjoy it together. So the way you level this is, of course, you max the free creepers because there are synergies for Poison Creeper and Rabies. That's already most of your points, and you will be relying on Gust as like a main transportation mechanic. So you will want Gust at the highest level, being 30. This is where the cooldown caps. So of course you'll be putting points into Gust to be at level 30. So as you can see, very point hungry kind of build. We're already down to 8 points. You will want an Oak Sage, which is the spirit you'll be summoning. So 1 point in Oak Sage. As you can see, it's already very high level, and you will want bears as well. You want as many bodies as you can on the field. The last points can go into Oak Sage. Right now it shows that I'm level 97, but I only have but I'm missing like 3 points from skill quests because I didn't complete them. So this is more like level 94 kind of skill points. And we'll put the last points in Oak. It doesn't really matter where you put it in. Really, you can put it in a lot of different things, but we'll put it into Oak. Anyway, that's an example of how you set up this build. The main important part is points in all the synergies, 80 points for the synergies and the Poison Creeper, and level 30 Gust. So that is kind of like the core of this build. For the attributes, you'll want to have strength enough to wear your gear, which normally will be either 185 or 165. And for dexterity, you want enough to have maximum block. This is a max block build. It is very important that you go max block because this is part of the safety of this build. The rest you can put into vitality. I personally don't put anything into energy on this build. Let's talk a little bit about the gear now. For the gear, the idea is you want to have as much plus skills as possible. So obviously that is not available during the beta, and you'll want to have as many plus skills just to get, you know, your summons to as high a level as possible. You want to get the Poison Creeper to the highest level that you can. So the gear we're using in the beta is Heart of the Oak. for a weapon, but on the live version I recommend crafting a +5 or +6, +7 even club to Poison Creeper. It is possible, it's very difficult, but it is possible. So I recommend doing that. We're using a Spirit Ward shield. Again, if you're using a Spirit Ward, you want it to be slammed with +1 skills. That's the ideal. A +3 other shield could be fine, but Spirit Ward has the best block chances for you, so going with a Spirit Ward is what I'd recommend. Spirit Ward with +1. These are pretty expensive, so this is again a very expensive build when you min-max it. For the helm, using an Alders, I put a bunch of bears in it, but you really don't need them. I tested with and without the bears, and it's really okay to not have them. I'm just putting them in because we didn't have anything else to put there. So I'm using Alders. Alders with +1 all skills is actually not as expensive as other helms. It will give you +5 to your summons. You can also use Rare Pelt with +5 to Poison Creeper, or use something like a Spirit Keeper that would let you summon 2 spirits instead of just 1 spirit. So you have a lot of options there. You can go with whichever one you think is the best for you. I'm using Arcanes. You'll want, of course, an Arcane slant with +1 all skills. Any +3 skills armor would work, so also Steel Carapace is just as fine if you'd like that, so that also works. For the belt, we're using an Arax, but it's +1. The rings are +skill rings. BKs or SOJs are okay. You don't really need a Wisp for this build. Occultists for the FCR. Your goal in this build is to have either 68 or 99 FCR, preferably 99 FCR. So again, getting some FCR is important. Of course, during the beta, I didn't get as much FCR as I wanted, but you can get 99 pretty easily. That's your kind of target for this build. For the boots, we're using Marowaks for they cannot be frozen. And lastly, the amulet, we're using Mars just to get our resistances and plus skills. Ideally, on ladder, you'll use a +5 amulet for summoning skills, or just a blue +3 amulet. As many plus skills as you can. Remember, that's the goal. That's the idea. Of course, you can just put runes instead of bear runes in your sockets. The sockets are pretty much free. You can put in them whatever you'd like. And because you don't really care about life after each kill or mana after each kill. You don't really care about anything that sockets give outside of resistances and physical resistances, pretty much. So that's what I recommend. On the swap, you don't have a CTA on this build. You have your pre-buff setup. So what you're hoping to have is, I say pre-buff setup, but it's basically your summoning setup. So on your swap, you'll have the setup with which you want to enter the game, and I'll explain this quickly. The way summons work is that however you summon them, like let's say I summoned my Poison Creepers, I summoned them at 49, that's the level that they are. So if I swap back to my main setup, this is level 48. As long as I enter the next game with the Mangsong equipped, that will be the level at which they are summoned. So as you can see, you can pretty much enter like this, then you swap, and you're back to your main setup, but you got snakes that are at level 49, not at level 48. I hope this kind of makes sense. This is how you play these kind of summon builds. So you want one side, right, one layout where you have as many plus skills as possible, you know, +3 shield, a +6 or higher one-handed club is preferred, so something like that is what you're looking for. And on this setup, you want to have enough FCR to travel around, and enough plus skills so your gust is a good level, and a good shield that you can block with, and of course as many plus skills as possible. So that is kind of your goal. That is kind of what you're looking to do with this kind of build. I get that it's all a lot to do, but this is a very fun build, and you can do it just like I do it right now. You don't need to do all these plus skills. These plus skills are just to take the build to the next level. So I will show that without all of these plus skills, this build still is incredibly powerful. So that's the gear that we used. That's our swap currently for the beta. That's the best I could do, +6. So just forgive me for not showing anything crazier than that. For the skillers, for the charms, we're using summoning skillers, of course, because that's our main form of damage. I got some small charms with Res, Torsion, and Annie. Of course, we're missing plus skills on the Annie as well. And that's basically your gear in your inventory. Now let's talk about the mercs. The mercs have a lot of options. You can actually run Act 1 merc, Act 2 merc, or Act 3 merc. All of them have viable options. There is the classic Demon Machine merc. You know, you give her a Demon Machine a lot of damage, Fortitude, or sorry, not Fortitude, Innocence to proc the Demon Machine, Veil of Steel, Bolts, CBF, and as much damage as you can. So that's one setup that you could go, and it is very powerful. It's very strong. Another setup that you can go is with the Act 2 defensive merc. That setup is a little bit safer, so even more that build viable, as they say. I think they say that. You can keep that, and you can keep that too. Actually, don't keep that. So there's one part of the setup, or you could do an Act 2 merc, for example, with Plague Runeward. Plague Runeward will cast Poison Nova, which also deals quite a bit of damage, but also casts slower resist, which is really nice. This one rolled only 1 to all skills, but it's not really a big deal. I'm kind of confused with all of the gear. Sorry, it's just a lot to take in. And I think I'm missing a pair of boots that I wanted to give to him. So I'm just going to give him this for now. There we go. So normally I'd want to use Ferocity, but we're going to use V-Gaze just because the setup is already prepared. And I'll put the Ranged Mercenary setup in the stash. So both of these setups are incredibly strong. Both of them work just as well. There's also an Act 3 setup, but it's a little bit more complicated, so I prefer to not mention it in this video. So let's show kind of how this build gets played. I prepared a few maps here, 2 or 3 maps, normally considered a little dangerous maybe. So again, I summon all of my summons. So the Dire Wolves, the Snakes, and the Oak Sage. So again, we got all of these things set up here. We got our Merc ready to go. And now we're going to jump into the next game, and I will show you kind of like how fast this build plays around. Okay, so again, Merc using Plague and Innocence, that's the main core of the build. Like Innocence and something that you're proccing. I give him a bunch of Leech and the PDR just so he stays alive. Let's hop into the next game. We're of course with the Mangsong equipped, as you can see. And now I swap over to this setup and I walk in. You want to have your Gust as your main attack. That's the only button you'll be pressing. And as you can see, I'm only teleporting. I'm personally holding the teleport button pressed. Now you'll see that like wherever you go, things are just gonna die. And the way this works is that your poison creepers do insane damage, and wherever you teleport, your Merc will basically cast either a low resist or extra damage. And that way you'll just be teleporting, telestomping, very safe. Your Snake's supposed to heal you. Generally, you don't even need rejuves for this build normally. So, yeah, incredibly safe. And again, I'm just going to teleport around to showcase this. This build does skip bosses. It does not kill bosses because it just cannot do it. It's not capable. As you can see, incredibly powerful build. I'm playing only with one hand right now, by the way. I'm not even worried about using potions. You see that pack over there died. These packs will die. Everything dies from this. It's one of the most reliable DAT builds I've ever seen. And it really does just take holding the right click to teleport, not even to attack. No potions needed. Turn brain off, hold the right click. In all of its glory. Now again, this is a build that will get stronger outside of the beta, because the main way for this build to do damage is to get more plus skills. So of course that it may look like this build is already endgame, but it can get a lot stronger than this. And yeah, generally I really think this is going to be one of those really strong builds. Now in terms of speed, if we're just talking speed, because safety obviously, as you can see, it's extremely safe, like without me doing anything. Like I'm never getting hit. Like I only drink potions for mana pretty much. And even that, like you don't necessarily have to if your mana vines heal you. So in terms of speed, the fastest that I managed to do this after running 20 maps with this was flat 5 minutes. A friend who kind of was the mastermind behind this build, called Dream, he swears by it being able to do a lot less and closer to 4 minutes. I personally haven't seen it yet, so I'm still being a little bit skeptical. But is very, very strong, and of course the power level outside of the beta is going to be stronger, so anything's possible. These kind of builds, since you are really just teleporting, it's possible that you could just clear a map in 4 minutes. Yeah, that would be really cool if you could do that. Of course, the boss, as I said, we are skipping. And for some people, I'm sure this build may seem like a little boring because you are only holding right click, but for some people, this is just what they're looking for.
Fuck yeah, dude.
No judging, okay? I personally think this is really cool. Just the fact that it works, I think is really, really awesome. And I really appreciate that. You know, that's part of the beauty in D2. Always finding like things that work differently and like a new way to experience the game. Right, so I personally really like it.
Hey guys, Dark Humility here. In closed beta season 11, Prosperity with a druid build. This is actually my apology video for my poison creeper slash worm slash caster rabies build, as I call it, for the one I made last season. So last season I messed up. I made one with bramble, a bunch of like percent poison damage, and percent poison damage actually does nothing. So this time we're not focusing any of that. This is just for FCR. And we realized that Poison Creeper only scales on skills, and it's got its built-in negative res mechanic and everything. So yeah, we did misinform the public a little bit in the last time, but to be fair, we did show how strong it could be despite a lot of wrong items and approaches used for the most part. So it wasn't too bad, but I'm going to clean up that build quite a bit and show that it actually can be even stronger if played a certain way. Maximum FCR, Gust, Poison Creeper, casting it around. It's honestly almost as effective as Rabies, which is kind of nuts. It does rival it to some extent, and it's very, very, very powerful. Of course, you have a lot of interesting options. We'll go over the stats, the skills, the mercenary, and the gear, and then of course we will do our typical demos that we always like to do on these. Remember, of course, to catch us live at Dark Humility, twitch.tv, Dark Humility, for the release of the Sacred Tablets, aka the tier list, as it's being called apparently by some. And of course, the new season launch at 10 a.m. PT, May 16th. So, pretty awesome stuff.
Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm bringing you another guide from Project Diablo 2 Season 12 Beta.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Dun, dun, dun. Fuck a summon druid, dude. This guy sucks. You're a fucking noob. You fucking blow wiener. What's the barb setup?
So let's begin with the Barbarian, which is probably the most complicated. since there's a lot of statue to
Berserk.
balance.
Just play fucking throw bar, dude.
First and foremost, you need to find a way
Fucking
to hit.
noob. Alright, I can't deal with these fucking scrubs. Scrubs. Scrubby tubbies. Dude, I want to listen to that fucking music now. Hold on. I want to... Is the tournament? Zealer Sork? No. That's a pretty cool drum.
He is here! Sting in a WWE ring at WrestleMania!
That's right, this is what it's like, Sting. Over 70,000 strong. For Sting's first ever appearance on the grandest stage of all, WrestleMania.
JBL, you gotta know that no matter how great his career was at WCW, Sting has never experienced a feeling like this.
This isn't Starrcade. This is WrestleMania. Even Sting, the icon, has to be overwhelmed with this sight. Triple H is making Sting wait.
What an entrance.
I've been waiting for you.
This is gay. Why is Terminator on here?
WrestleMania. Judgment Day is here. It's time to play the game.
Wow! Wow! Time to play the game!
And WrestleMania is brought to you by Terminator Genesis in theaters everywhere July 1st in 3D.
It's all about the game, and how you play it, all about control, and you can take it, all about you get it, if you can play it, it's all about me, who's gonna make it? I am the game, you don't wanna play me, I am control.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. Approaching the ring from Greenwich, Connecticut, weighing in at 255 pounds, the Game, Triple H!
Well, that's why they call him the Cerebral Assassin. If you don't think that entrance got into the head of Sting, you got another thing coming. The Game is on his way to terminate the Icon.
I've seen some crazy stuff. I have no idea what to make of that.
Oh, man.
That was amazing.
To me, that was about symbolism, because Triple H has made it clear that he brought Sting to WWE to do one thing, to destroy him, to destroy the last remaining soldier of WCW once and for all. And if you want to talk about this on social media, use hashtag Sting versus Triple H. And there he is, the 13-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion, a King of the Ring winner, a Royal Rumble winner, and a headliner of numerous historic moments. Elbow, and what's going to happen here? Side headlock now for Sting, and here we go. Shoulder tackle, Triple H is down. Sting strikes first.
A show of force from Sting. They be out now whose face shows a little intimidation.
Time to reassess things for Triple H. Next move.
It's not reassessing. Game plan is still on track for Triple H. It's the Game.
Now side headlock for Triple H. Reverses it, goes behind, and again. Takedown by Triple H in control of Sting, early part of the matchup. Sort of expected the pace to start out this way, King. Two guys, two the greatest of all time, never faced each other before.
It's back to basics. This is some... Oh!
And Triple H returns with a shoulder tackle of his own. A little crotch chop from the game. And now Sting, nice hip toss. And a high one as well. And a drop kick by the Icon.
What? What's this?
I don't think Triple H saw any of that coming.
I don't think he did either.
I gotta admit, Triple H might just be a little off his game to start.
You see what's
But
trending?
he'll get it back together.
See what's trending worldwide, JBL? Sting
Number one.
versus Triple H.
Well, of course it is.
Lose it?
Sting still got it.
The AFL and the NFL once sent their best representatives together to fight it out. They called it the Super Bowl.
Whoa!
It's the NFL, and this can change the course.
Go with Triple H.
Oh! Bouncing. Whoa, 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 whoa! What the hell was that?
Didn't even face Sting.
The Triple H thing with a huge look of disbelief. And what do I do now?
Whoa!
Sting's got him down! Sting's got him
Hey,
down!
hey, you know what he's going for?
Oh, and Triple H scoots out of the way.
What we're... Sting has a counter for it.
I'll take his.
I'll say steps.
It's really all that key. This is WrestleMania.
Now Triple H with Sting up, going for a vertical suplex, and again, just a flat-out strength to cover by Triple H. Kick out by Sting.
Way too early to be out of ammo for Sting.
Easy to make in the D-Leagues. It's when you get the NBA, it's a world different.
Sting again whipped into the corner, and he was down and out early. And again, the ultimate humiliation.
To come to WrestleMania, he had to find to slay.
Well, and I agree with you. I'm not arguing the point. And here we go. Spinebuster by Triple H. Cover. Isn't enough to put Sting away. And Sting gets the shoulder up at 2.
Well, I think you guys are thinking a little bit of the
Star here. And he refused to come to this company for what, 15 years?
I think it was out of pride. I
He's
think
a big fish in a little pond. He wanted to go down the ship. So did the captain of the Titanic. We can't remember his name. Mania Sting.
Yeah, but Sting now. Sting has got Triple H stunned. Backed him into the corner. Whips Triple H across the ring. A boot right to the face of Sting again. Triple H in the center of the ring.
This may be it.
Is Triple H going to tap out? Triple H up to the second rope. Sting caught him. Sting caught him. Going for the score. Going again. Going again. Triple H is in trouble. He's got to get Triple H turned over, and he does. He's got Triple H in the center of the ring.
This may be it.
Is Triple H going to tap out?
No.
What on earth? Oh my God! It's DX! X-Pac! Road Dogg! Billy Gunn! Remember, guys, no disqualification in this matchup!
What? Wait a minute!
DX! And there goes Billy Gunn!
Oh!
And down goes DX! But Triple H going for the pedigree! And Sting counters!
Triple H launched right out of the ring amongst his buddies.
And again,
DX.
again, remember, the only way to win the matchup is by pinfall or submission, guys. So DX is
Wait a minute.
oh
Sting,
my
what
God.
are you doing?
Sting for the top rope.
Sting jumping on top of all of DX. That's something we thought we'd never see.
We were begging to see that in the Monday Night War.
The Monday Night War has just come to life.
Sting took them all out. Yes, it is.
And Sting get Triple H back in the ring. Man, this is incredible.
It's WrestleMania.
And now
Oh.
Billy Gunn again gets popped.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Pedigree time. Oh, no.
Oh, pedigree. Pedigree to Sting. Cover. Over the line.
Lost 2 wars.
And Sting kicks out.
He did what, JBL?
Sting kicked out. Triple H can't believe it. He hit him with a pedigree.
So close.
Triple H needs to end this, and he needs to end it now.
Yeah, but what's he gonna do, John?
End it, Hunter, end it.
Well, you got to admit, with all of DX out here ringside now, the deck is stacked in Triple H's favor. Uh-oh.
I do admit it. Also admit that it's coming up now, the end of Sting. It's hammering time. Sting and his company trying to put us all out of jobs. He's about to get what he deserves. The hell? God! No! It can't be!
Wait a minute.
Oh, the New World Order! Nash, Hogan, and Hall! I got goosebumps!
We just going through a time warp. We got DX out here. We got Triple H. We got Sting. We got NWO.
This is incredible!
But who
WrestleMania!
is NWO coming for?
I don't know, they had their problem with Sting for years and years and years!
You're right, JBL. I feel like we're in a time machine.
This is a fight we wanted to see in the 90s. It may be a little late, but it's coming. Get after it, boys.
Here we go! The Monday Night Wars have come to WrestleMania!
Oh, my God.
DX, the NWO! DX is out, and Triple H is face to face.
We're behind you. No! No! Damn it!
Drop! Sting!
No!
Hook of the leg! Triple H kicked out!
He kicked out!
Triple H kicked out!
Now what?
I have never seen anything like this.
This place is buzzing!
This is unbelievable. Scorpion Deathlock again. This may do it.
Sting's got to turn him
He
over,
gets
and
it
he
locked in.
does.
He's got it.
Triple H has got nowhere to go.
And no
It's
help.
a ring.
No
No
help.
way that Triple H will be forced to tap out to Sting.
Oh, look at him. He sees it.
Get
Yes.
there!
Oh,
Get there,
hammer.
Triple H! Crawl!
Triple H is trying to get the sledgehammer.
Oh, no.
Get it!
Fingertip away. And
Come on, Hogan! You made your name here, Hogan! Damn you, Hogan!
And a Lex pop. And Nash. And Billy Gunn takes out Nash.
Oh, my God.
Scott Hall sent flying by Road Dogg. Meanwhile, in the ring, Sting still got Triple H in the Scorpion Deathlock.
It doesn't
Dragging him
matter.
out to the
The
center of the
Triple H
ring.
has to tap out to Sting.
Is Triple H gonna tap? Imagine the embarrassment, the humiliation. If Triple H is
Hang in there, Hunter! Hang in there, Hunter, please!
Listen to this crowd. Tap, tap,
That's my
tap.
boy, Triple H!
How long can he fight
Dig
this?
deep!
How long can he take the pain? Oh,
This is us against them!
forcing the break? Triple H somehow surviving right now.
Hey, wait, 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 wait.
Look it! Oh my God!
What?
Shawn Michaels! Sweet chin music! Sweet chin music!
Shizzle! Never been so happy to see Shawn Michaels in my life!
Triple H's best friend,
I love
Shawn
that man.
Michaels! Turning up the band! Mr. WrestleMania's here!
Yes! True friendship of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. That's what friends do. We won the war.
And now Triple H trying to capitalize, crawls into the cover, shoulders down on Sting for the win, and Sting just got the shoulder up.
What? Are you kidding me? Shawn Michaels beside himself. He can't believe it. But somehow you're right. Sting got that shoulder barely up.
Triple H just trying to crawl to the corner somehow for some relief. Sting is down as well.
There's total carnage outside
Guys,
the
look
ring.
at this. Look at this. Billy got his hand on the sledgehammer to Triple H. DX trying to will Triple H on. Triple H sledgehammer in hand.
Is this the way it's gonna end?
One side of the ring, NWO. The other side of the ring, DX.
You want to dance with kings? Get ready, Sting.
Oh no, it's Scott Hall gives Sting the bat.
Damn you, Razor.
Baseball bat, sledgehammer.
Well, we're back to an even playing field.
Man, this is incredible.
Let's start this thing again.
Pinfall submission. Only way to win this matchup.
Watch it.
Back to the midsection. Triple H is down. Sting with the upper hand.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh no!
What?
Guys. And now Sting dropping the bat. Gonna do this mano a mano. Look at Sting go. Sting unloading. Right hand to Triple H.
JBL, what were you saying about a minnow in an ocean? That minnow has just turned into a shark.
I never thought I'd see this, King.
Whoa!
To Triple H. Oh no! Triple H with a sledgehammer. The head of that sledgehammer right off the skull of Sting. Triple H crawling to the cover.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Leg, shoulders down, and the game prevails.
Here is your winner, Triple H.
What an absolutely incredible moment. History in the making tonight in WrestleMania. Moments we never thought we'd saw, we'd ever see. We turned the clock back 15 years.
We saw the Monday Night Wars come to life.
Look at these personalities. Look at these superstars in this ring at the same time. Who would have thunk it? Would you ever in your wildest dreams seen these superstars in the same ring?
We never thought we'd see Sting and Triple H square off, but who would have ever thought we'd see Degeneration X and the New Age Outlaws?
This is a WrestleMania moment.
We may have never thought we were going to see it. I'm certainly glad we did. This is awesome.
Wait a minute. Whoa, there's a WrestleMania moment.
It's finally been put to bed after all these years and all the animosity. Has it finally been put to bed here tonight? The olive branch has been offered and accepted.
That's been put to bed. We won again.
The Undertaker seems to be demanding answers from Kane's actions on Raw. Is the Undertaker demanding answers from that vicious choke slam? And Kane doesn't look like he wants to give the Undertaker answers. Give him an answer, damn it! He's your brother, he deserves an answer!
Speed run. Necrosaur. The sound. I don't like his loop filter. No audio, dude. Oh, is he doing the skip? He's not even wearing gear hardly. Crazy. Article says that much damage, huh? Oh, I know what I'm gonna play.
For just athlete and pro sportsman. He's got him out. He's got the move. He just choke slam Goldberg. He's got the move. 1, 2. No. He got out of the choke slam. My goodness. Giant is shocked. He's stunned. He looked at his head. He couldn't believe it. Kevin Nash to face the winner of this match. It's Danny to hit him again. He blocked it. Goldberg with knees. He don't care how big you are. There's a spear. Hey, Dad. Now, can he pick him up? I bet if he does, the roof's coming off this joint. Here we go. Look at the size of this man. They're standing everywhere. Oh, my. He's got it. Oh, my God. 1, 2, and 3. And for just athlete and pro sportsman. He's got him out. He's got the move. He just choke slammed Goldberg. He's got the move. 1, 2. No. He got out of the choke slam. My goodness. Giant is shocked. He's stunned. He looked at his head. He couldn't believe it. Kevin Nash to face the winner of this match. It's Danny to hit him again. He blocked it. Goldberg with knees. He don't care how big you are. There's a spear. Hey, Dad. Now, can he pick him up? I bet if he does, the roof's coming off this joint. Here we go. Look at the size of this man. They're standing everywhere.
Fantastically done, showing his strength. And we're going to go into match point next. Match point, I think most people think it's a pretty good map for Protoss in the matchup. Let's see what Hero's plan is going to be. You know, a little thing to mention in the ASL Open, Tolbo eliminated effort on match point. And effort, instead of saying GG, said beep Protoss map. It's like he was not too happy with it. So let's see what Hero's plan is going to be going into this 2-player map.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of match point because I hate playing TVP on this, so I've ticked it off in my ladder selections. But I'm curious how it's going to be played. I mean, obviously, Snow is going to have a way to approach this map, right? So we're going to get something pretty smart. Definitely not as many bases to be taken. You know, unlike Neo Sylphid, where there's a lot of ways to expand. Match point has a very formulaic way that both sides grow on the map. Very, frankly, one-dimensional way that you develop, which means you really have to force what you take. You can't be, crafty and sneaky and expand in different directions. You really have to kind of go in one direction. The game is kind of set on a set of tracks that it has to follow, at least early on. And again, we could see some cheesy stuff here. 2-player spawn map here. Hero in the bottom left, Snow in the top right. I don't think we're going to have any proxy gate or anything weird or cheesy. I think proxy gate's gone in this matchup overall. And if it ever comes back, that'll be exciting. But it seems like it's really hasn't been used since like KSL, honestly. And I know we mentioned like I think one final where Mini used it or semi-final, but it's very rare.
It would have to be Mini that would bring it back to. He'd figure out some sort of weird, obscure timing that would work.
Yeah.
He's like the only one that tinkers with insanity like that. But yeah. All right. Yeah, match point here, PVZ. I guess I haven't seen that many PVZs here, but the problem with match point, this is a much older map, right? Maps aren't really made like this anymore. You have your line of 4 bases down the center, and then you have 2 very hard to hold bases up at 12 o'clock and down at 6 o'clock, right? Those are kind of out in the middle of nowhere, not near anything, hard to defend. Like you have to really be dominating your opponent and really have map control to be able to take one of those. And then still the place that you're at is pretty far away from them so that maybe they can still do something with like drops or something, right? So that's kind of the problem. It's like, okay, well, you have 4 bases, I have 4 bases. Which of our races is more cost efficient? And that's what makes it really tough in pretty much every matchup. It's just match point is not a very well balanced map. A lot of these other maps is like, oh yeah, there's a lot of back and forth, but with this one, it's like, okay, does Hero need to cheese here, or is he gonna be fine? Like, I actually wonder, Tasis, I know you said you have it vetoed, but you probably still have seen and played many more PVZs than me on this map. Is there do people utilize like lurker contains or something on the high ground above the mineral base here? Because that looks like a lot of maps that have a feature like that Zerg likes to abuse.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's definitely one thing that Zerg can try to go for. You can also push the Zerg. I mean, Zerg will a lot of times make lurkers on their high ground to try to defend. But I think your analysis on like the overall nature of the map, the longer the game goes, is the most important takeaway. Is that like, by the way, we were talking about how you have to expand a certain way. He took 6 o'clock.
That makes me think it's a Hydra bus, man. Like, it's just, that's a pretty close rally. So that's the only thing I see where it's like, okay, that could make sense, that he's going to try to rally out Hydras from there and try a bust maybe. I don't know.
I don't know the drone timing here exactly. But he did get his other hatch up pretty fast. I'm curious what Snow thinks about this. It's very easy to check the top 2 locations, like center and left and upper left, and say there's no hatchery here. I don't know what's going on. Like, there has to be a 3rd hatchery. Zerg never really want to make like a 3rd hatchery around their main. I know we see that in ZVT sometimes, like natural or main or something like that. I assume the den is just made at 6 o'clock.
I can't even read this.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where you would go if you wanted to do that rush. the probe right now. Still remaining alive, but taking some extra damage here.
That fix it?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Where's the den? I mean, okay,
There it is.
It was actually in the back of the main here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I can't imagine you get a layer here, but you know, I'll let him. I'll let him show us. The probe is gonna come down here and see this, and I think he's gonna have the same thought you have, Artosis. Did he see that? Yeah, he sees the creep, which is enough, obviously.
Yeah, it's actually that little corridor to get in there is very tough. You're not going to be able to get back out if you send the probe in there.
Right.
It's just it's something weird about the angle and how close it is that there's no smooth pathing through it. I don't really know how to explain it other than that.
No, it's too hard to get a worker out of there, so you basically just have to wait. And Hydra Bus, I guess we always have to look at them and say, well, I guess the most important part, first of all, is like, does he survive the attack from the Hydras, right? Because if he does, then the game goes on. If not, then we're going to be talking about how Hero moved on to the round of 8 again. And on Snow's side of things, he's got enough room to probably make a healthy amount of cannons, but we should point out that cannon at the entrance, it's really close.
Yeah.
You basically want to have the cannon pretty far back.
Dude, he just started a layer as the Zealot came in. That's so smart. Oh my God, I love that. That is so intelligent.
Yeah, he's really good. That's crazy. So he's probably going to cancel the layer once the vision's dissipated here. That's crazy. Yeah, so he cancels it. Now, it's not the craziest place to make a layer, by the way. Like, it's the main's always kind of the normal spot, but sometimes you'll make it in different locations. And I think he suspects something, so he's going to make that other cannon in the back. But remember that, like, we looked at like all these hyper modern wall-ins where it's like the gateway sticks out further and the forge is further back, and you have enough room to make cannons to where they can't just be you can't just dive on them. But like this spot does look really weak.
It
just
really
the nature
does.
of the wall-in does look rough. Has he seen a Hydra yet?
No. No, and in fact, look at him try to pull. What? He tried to pull there for a second. He's like, never mind. He's gonna just see me. We'll get some damage done. He needs to add some cannons right now.
Yeah, he needs a lot more cannons. 3's not gonna cut it. And again, I don't know how safe these cannons are. He might want to get one to the left and maybe one even to the right here. And this is going to hit so hard, Artosis. I am so nervous for Snow here.
I don't think he's going to hold this Tasteless. This looks really, really scary. The Zealots start to come out. 2 of them actually stuck behind. Probes drilling down. The probes are actually doing a
from the
heroic. Yeah, that is amazing drilling from these probes. Seriously.
Where is he drilling them to? What does he see?
I thought his Corsair was near something, but it's not. I don't know how.
Oh, no, it is. It's at 6 o'clock. That's what it is.
Okay. There's a second Corsair up top then. That's what I was seeing. And he actually gets an Overlord during that as well. Damn, dude. Great drill. Now he has enough cannons. I think he just holds. Ooh.
He overstayed. He way overstayed there. He lost about 4 more Hydras than he needed to.
Yeah.
And remember, you're watching the Protoss make cannons, and that's always like a little bit painful, right? When you're just making defenses. But what you don't have at home are a lot of hatcheries. So Zerg's on 3 hatches and soon to have 4. Where Protoss is eventually, they're going to get up to 8 gates pretty fast. And so what happens in a lot of these games post Hydra bust, wait a minute. Oh no, I guess that's all powered by the pylon above. Maybe not the one on the far left. But anyways, Protoss is going to have 8 gates long before the Zerg has 6 hatcheries. And that's where the Zerg usually dies. Even though I think Zergs now are better than ever at these games where you're basically sitting, after a failed Hydra rush, they're pretty good at surviving. This is Protoss favored.
Well, Snow has done a great job blocking a 3-hatch Hydra. He died to one, he blocked one, and now he's, in a favored position on a favored map. So where do you go as Hero from here? Like, do you try to say stop making Corsairs a lot? I actually am a big fan of True, and I love the way that he kind of approaches the game, even though he's like a very kind of cheesy, aggressive Zerg. And he'll do 3-hatch Hydra, end up not killing Protoss, and then go into Mutas to snipe High Templars. and then go Mass Hydra, and then go back into Mutas, and then go Mass Hydra. Like, to my Terran brain, that makes a lot of sense, right? Just kind of...
No, I think it's super strong.
Yeah, just focusing on that. Like, is that something for Hero to do here? Do you think it's better for him to try to set up Lurker? It's just that third base is so far away. I can't imagine a Lurker-based game here.
I think you have to try to take the fight to the Protoss. I think this map is I think just bad to try to turtle on Lurkers, especially when you have 6 o'clock, because that's like almost its own location. Like, it's very hard to connect that to anything. Usually what happens is they go for, you know, they get 11 mutas and they snipe your Templars and they try to overwhelm you with Hydras. And what Protosses tend to do, and I feel like we don't see all of them do it, but I know Best does it, is he goes for a Dark Archon. And with the Dark Archon, you just escort the Templars, you know, with the Dark Archon.
Yeah.
And when the mutas come, you freeze the mutas with Maelstrom, storm the mutas, or let the Dragoons kill them, and you win the game, right? And you know, the thing is, they don't have to go for mutas, but even then, like, a Dark Archon can be used. Like, it does have utility. You can freeze Lurkers or Hydras or anything else with it.
Yeah. And feedback if it does get to Defilers. Like, a Dark Archon's...
Right.
Most StarCraft fans in the foreign scene, the English-speaking scene, feel like Dark Archons are underused. And I tell you, as a non-Protoss, non-Zerg player, I watch when Best goes Dark Archon, and I'm like, he's so far ahead, everyone. Why is everyone not doing this after a 3-hatch Hydra? You know, it seems so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I personally go for the Dark Archon as well.
Yeah.
Another approach is to make a shuttle and put the Templars in that and have Corsairs that protect it. And mutas actually don't kill this shuttle very fast. And the mutas don't have like a ton of time to kill everything. I can't remember who did this, but my mind was kind of blown when I saw it. It might have even been Snow.
I remember that too, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
I remember exactly what you're talking about, where we were like, whoa, this is from StarCraft 2. Like, this is sick. And I haven't really seen it since, though. I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, right now, I don't see mutas out, so this might be, like, not a factor in this game at all. But let's watch. He's going to take a third base. You're kind of waiting for a target to show up in a game like this. You're kind of sitting back and looking around and going, okay, where are you going to expand? You don't really need to attack into a place that's already got, you know, sunken colonies and defenses, like this base down here at 6. But, you know, where else can Zerg expand? Basically to the top and up. Maybe to the bottom right, but I think Protoss could hit that. And Hero's going to try to slide through the middle, and I think he might even try to set up a big drop here. And, you know, Hero's so good at moving things through the map where you don't get to see them.
He just had vision, but did he actually see it? I don't think so.
I don't know if his eyes saw it. I mean, it was on the mini-map, but...
Well, his Corsairs happen to come back down, so he's going to see it. And when you see something that looks like that, you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
This is not a fake from Hero. Like, Hero has clearly tried to get over here and do this without being detected. But with Snow seeing this, generally you'll see them end up, Protoss players will end up leaving like a couple High Templars in the main base, maybe a few Zealots, make a couple cannons, that type of thing. And he should keep this Corsair alive for some vision up there as well. Oh, God.
Oh, nice little Lurker drop. I love this. Just send this in here and try to do whatever damage you can do. You know, when Zerg's really behind, I think one of the last options they've got is to try to go for some kind of drops.
Yeah.
You know, you have a weird Hydra bust opening. You're trying to figure out where you can take the game from here. I think drops, you know, when they're not respected, can really mess a Protoss player up. There is no fourth base for Zerg. He is just sitting back and, you know, and kind of moving around here. He could try to push into this third base.
Well, he's doing a little counterattack with some Zealots, but this is a lot of Hydras, and Hero takes over this high ground. It seems like Snow is really waiting for that drop and is slightly out of position against this, but not the end of the world.
Oh, this could be the end of the world, maybe.
You think so?
Actually, this is like really bad. You know, on this map, you don't have a lot of places to go. You kind of can't let Zerg get up here. Like, this is a really punishable position.
Trying to hit the probes there, but it looks like the cannon was at a perfect location. Still holding that position. Don't forget, though, like, Hero right now is on 3 base. So Snow is
Right.
is by no means dead right now. Obviously, that position on the high ground is always a tough one for Protoss to end up breaking out of. But there is another ramp. There's like another way he can get some units out. You know, he's running around with these Zealots right now, seeing what he can do and checking for extra bases. And I think he's still got time, like, on his side in a way, right? Because it's not like there's additional tech. Like, he can start farming with these Psy Storms and try to break through slowly.
Yeah, there's actually not that many lurkers up here. In my head, I thought there was a lot more.
Yeah.
So he kind of drives that back. And what Protoss needs to do is push up here and control this platform. This platform's like the most important side of your map, or I guess part of your side of the map is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The Hydras are coming through here. Artosis, this is an insane number of
It is
Hydras.
so
Great
many.
targeting on the lurkers. You really don't want to be surrounded. You need to go into like a compacted area like the one we're seeing here. The Hydras, I mean, I don't think he can push further in because, you know, 2 storms is going to melt everything over here.
Yeah. And this little group unable to find a way in. A couple lurkers left there burrowed. It's kind of a crazy position, and as Hero adds more and more lurkers, it's going to be harder for Snow to push up there once again. But he does have a lot of High Templars that he's kept alive. So, you know, as he recharges those storms, he does continue to gain value, and there's no 4th base yet for Hero.
He is taking the bottom right, which I think is kind of genius.
Oh,
Just because
I
it's
actually
like,
didn't even
you're
see
not
that.
Gonna give that any attention.
Yeah.
No, I almost missed it myself. Like, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Because I think Protoss is basically just going to be peeking at the 3rd base. Because there are games where you're so behind, you don't even expand yourself. You're just trying to force them off of their 3rd base.
Yeah.
Zerg do mine out slower than Protoss in a lot of games because they make less workers. Just the way the race works. He's got some great Psy Storms coming up here. Again, the arc is really impressive. And what Hero's doing is he's only sending some units in. He's not sending everything because that's how everything gets stormed, right? So he sends enough in to do damage and bleed out storms, and then he fills it back in. The Zealots that are out on the map, they're here to just make sure that a hatchery can't be forced out. The problem is that Hero's so invested in this while hiding this base. I mean, if Hero wins this, this is like a masterclass in PvZ when you're behind.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be amazing. But I think Snow's going to break through everything. And anytime they have a lurker contain up on you and you break through, I feel like the Protoss ends up winning that game the vast, vast majority of the time. There's just not that much left behind. You put so much money into that containment. And it seems like there's just enough here for Snow. He has so many Dragons,
All right,
more
I
Zealots
gotta-
coming up. He's hit so many storms, picking off Overlords. Look at the supply differential. 50 additional supply here for Snow.
Yeah, and when you have a lurker contain, you got to remember the Zerg's invested everything there. So it's not like you break a lurker contain and they also have this incredible turtle defense back at home. And so now the contain has been broken. It's becoming a push. And Hero's trying to just stop this onslaught of units. It's low ground fighting up into high ground here. Really bad for Hero here. Meanwhile, the Zealots are actually doing damage over here. I think Snow's done it. And I think this is a really good kind of moment in his PvZ career here, because this is a crazy high level PvZ ZVP from Hero, and Snow basically powered through it. He kind of stayed an honorable Protoss here, just macroing, holding the cheese, pushing out, defending. By the way, the probe scouted the bottom right, which means that's going to fall. The only thing keeping that bottom right base open was the fact that it's so crazy to expand there, you don't look for it.
Yeah, yeah. Still just on that layer tech. Hero's going to try to claw his way back into this game. And he sees that 12 o'clock base that Snow's trying to take. So it looks like he's going to go up and clear that. But yeah, I think Snow's just going to run through him now. Not much left here for Hero.
No, I think Hero is basically dead. You know, eventually Snow has to get another base, but I think right now Hero doesn't have anything to work with. And that's going to be a GG. Snow wins 2-1 here. He's going to be the 3rd player going on into the round of 8. Our 2nd Protoss player, Artosis.
Yes. Yes. Where's all my Terran players, Tasteless? What's going on here? It's looking grim. And of course,
beautiful thing.
Yeah, Oregon will be playing next here against Rain, but I don't hold out too much hope for that. But who knows? We'll see. Snow advancing is... I mean, it's expected, but Hero did play well today. He definitely played on the more aggressive side, and it didn't end up working out for him. But I wonder if Snow beats Oregon and comes up. I mean, if Rain beats Oregon and comes up to the final match, is he going to be able to handle that with as much finesse as we just saw from Snow?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting if we do get a rematch of that. I want to see, you know, how much more is Hydra busting going to be a thing here for Hero versus, you know, versus Snow instead of versus Rain here. You know, not a lot of lurkers up here, by the way. I think if he had a little bit more, it would have been tougher to push up. Once Protoss gets onto the high ground here, it gets a lot easier to storm this. And once you have control of this area over here, you know, it's hard for Zerg to have anything. I think had Zerg leaned a little bit harder on this and just kept maybe trying to drop lurkers behind the minerals at the third base and just kind of deny mining, maybe you could have slowed him down just enough that Protoss would have a hard time moving out. But here we see the moment where he's completely broken free. And from here, you know, the game, it's always going to be easy. We're going to have an interview, guys. Let's see what Snow thinks.
You're watching Group B of the round of 16 here at ASL Season 21 as we have our first player through to the quarterfinals today. It's Snow. Congratulations. Thank you. This is your 5th season in a row where you move on to the round of 8. It was very out of the ordinary to see you so lacking in confidence in the pre-game interview earlier today. But when it's actually time to play, boy, did you show perfect performance as you advance on in the tournament. How are you feeling? No, I honestly lost a lot in practice, so I was genuinely worried. I'm glad I managed to win. In the early morning hours, I was racking my brain about whether I should change my builds. I realized I have no time for that. I just went for it. Against Zerg? No, against Terran. Against Terran. But luckily it worked. In the pre-game interview, it felt that it was specifically the PVT you were not confident about. But getting off to a good start in the early game against Organ must have relieved some of those worries. Right. Originally, you don't really get to do damage with this. But this is a tournament, and the damage did go in. And from then on, I felt the game was going well, so I relaxed. And when it comes to the winner's match against Hero, he was actually leading with a 9-2 head-to-head score in the ASL. I wonder whether that had any effect on your mentality going into the game. I've been losing a lot. I have scored against people like 3-7 or losing all games against Solkey, for instance. So I don't really pay attention to it. Right. But losing the first game against Hero's quick Hydra build, you found yourself having to reverse sweep. And in the second game, once you caught his air units with your Archon, I felt you were in a great position. I originally played defense and don't move out much. I just decided to attack. It worked really well. And the way you used Dark Templar afterwards was very inspiring. And in the third set on match point that followed, you went for a Nexus first build. Playing that first set and that second set, I realized, oh man, I cannot win this. It was so tough. I realized that I cannot play straight up in the third set. I said to myself, let's try and get at least some semblance of an advantage. I went for this gamble and it worked well. The fight at the 3 o'clock at the center went very well for you, especially with how you had a contingent of zealots at the 11 o'clock, splitting the Zerg army. Those zealots baited so many units for so long. I felt you must have prepared this sort of multitasking for today. How did you feel playing that game? It was a win as long as I pierced through that high ground. But it is a hill, so it wasn't easy to push through. I went for this zealot move and he followed with a ton of units, which let me push through and win. It clearly appears to be a season where you've made even more progress on top of what you've done before. With this round of 8, you're once again in a position where you have to push for a round of 4 for the grand final. What are you determined to do now? I pretty much always go to the round of 4. I go to the finals, but I've not been able to take it that one step further. This time I'll work hard.
Welcome back to another video here. Today I'm going to be talking about my loot filter specifically. I've updated it for season 12. This is, I think, the 4th season or maybe 5th that I've kind of used my own filter rather than one of the standard ones. So it's come a long way since my original video I made about the filter. So I wanted to make something more updated. So let's just get into it. I've got Pluggy open, and this is a season 11 build, so it's not with the season 12 build. But let's get into it. We'll start with the runes. So the runes look pretty simple, pretty elegant, I would say. The runes have a stacked version and a non-stacked version, of course. The non-stacked version doesn't show the quantity. I went with orange to represent. Well, let me kind of step back here for a sec. But so in terms of how the loop filter works and what's different, what's like the main thing about it is that it uses a color coding scheme that is A, consistent, and B, I think very intuitive and in line with Diablo 2. A lot of filters have a lot of crazy colors going on, a lot of different uses for colors that you wouldn't expect. Like for instance, green is a set color, so a lot of people use green for things that aren't sets, and it's a little odd. So I don't like that. That's why I made my own filter. Orange in my filter represents, well, originally for runes, that's what orange was for. But so orange basically is anything that is a currency, and it's anything that you should just always pick up, and it's something that you accumulate and can sell in bulk. So that includes all the runes, right? And so a lot of the runes are bulk runes up to a certain point, up to the foul rune in my filter. Of course, you wouldn't sell 50 foul runes for the same price as 50 eth runes, but you do have to make a decision at some point. I made it at foul. Lem is when things become purple. And purple is things that are on their own. Like one lem rune is worth a currency, right? Like it's valuable. So you want to be happy when you see a purple. It's kind of like, ooh, yay, purple. And of course that goes for pull, and you'll see.
Hey guys, Dark Humility here. Today we'll be going over the ADEV DH filter, which is my own very own personal filter that is currently updated by me and originally created by Arrested Development, or ADEV, who used to do filters for Pod. So Pod the mod. So Path of Diablo. He used to do those, and then his loop filter was kind of ported into Project Diablo 2, and he was exclusively working on it until around like season 5, and then I took over and started updating it for every season since, and then cleaning up and updating a whole bunch of things along the way, just making it better for all kinds of players. My filter as of now has received its last update for season 9 already, and there are lots, of course, of important things that needed to be updated for season 9, since sets can be ethereal, and the maps got changed around in terms of tiers and immunities and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So let's go over what is good about this filter in case you're interested in trying it. It is in the launcher, by the way. You do not need to pull up the file. You can, of course, pull up the file and you can modify it however you want using !filter in my channel, Dark Humility's channel. And you can, of course, modify it and then upload it to your local filter folder, and you can select that from the launcher. I did make a video for how to do that in case you want to upload a local filter and you want to make sure that it is working. Of course, remember that in the settings, of course, you need to make sure whenever you have any filter that you select, even directly from the launcher, which mine's the dark filter under ADEV-DH, make sure you have it enabled, and then you can even enable other types of notifications as well, whether or not you're actually close to the item, so keep notifying you every time you get close, instead of just when it drops. I have that disabled though, because I just prefer to have it when it drops, because I don't like tons of notifications and constant notification streams of all kinds of items that maybe don't necessarily need to be notified because they're not that big of a deal, and it's just up to you whether or not to check for them. So anyway, let's go over, of course, a bunch of the pros of this filter, the ADEV-DH filter, and we'll also go over some cons, and you guys can see if maybe it is meant for you. I've never been insanely interested necessarily in like making this filter insanely popular. I've just always preferred this filter. I originally worked with ADEV to create this filter in a way that it would actually be something I'd want to use. I actually come from like the original like LOD gameplay, so like I was a little bit resistant to loop filters at first, and wanted to make sure that it really fit a lot of things that I am looking for. And I found that a lot of other filters just really weren't for me, for a bunch of reasons that maybe have to do with why we created this filter and the pros of this filter particularly. And you can see if maybe you'd prefer it as well. Of course, there's plenty of other choices that are far more popular. I don't mind my filter remaining underground whatsoever, so it's all good. Just use it if you want, and it's there, and I'm making this video so at least you understand what you will be getting out of it. Of course, you can always modify it to make it more strict and whatnot if you want, but here it is. Alright, anyways, so I'd say the main pro is that it works for all stages of the game and for all builds. So in other words, all manners of socket bases that could possibly be used to make any kind of runeward that could potentially be useful while you're leveling or while you're reaching endgame, and pretty much all manners of crafting bases. Of course, there's a lot of items that will stop showing at different breakpoints, such as level 61, 81, or 91. Once you get to a point where there's literally no reason at that point why you'd ever want to be picking up those items anymore for trading or otherwise, or they just can't help you anymore while you're leveling up. So at that point, they just become hidden. But trust me, like when an item becomes hidden, it's really useless at that point. It's very generous in terms of how long it shows things in terms of leveling up, so that you can't possibly miss something when you're still trying to upgrade your gear. So it's very, very generous in that regard, and it's very good at all points, and you don't have to worry about it like missing items. Like for instance, even white crystal swords and normal cows, those will show for quite a while, I think till like level 41 even, so that's like another breakpoint. There's a bunch of like level cutoffs at certain points where certain things will stop showing, but heck, even things like cracked circlets for imbuing will be showing for a while as well. So you'll always make sure that something that could be useful will be showing throughout the game, which is really good. It's definitely peace of mind when you have a filter, because a lot of filters will just randomly hide things that could be helping you on your leveling journey. So, good stuff. All right. The next thing, which I think is what makes my filter the most unique, the one that I update and use, of course, the ADEV-DH filter. What makes it unique is the tiering of uniques and sets and just items in general. This is, I'd say, very different from like any other filter. I continually update it every season so that the tiers are reflective of their current trade value. I don't just update it before the season, but we also update it. I also update it usually like a week or two after, if it's determined that the value of certain items is actually maybe higher or lower than was originally predicted. And this is based on, you know, patch notes and trends and people playing various builds. So these things are very useful for understanding trade value, whether or not it's useful in corrupting an item, whether or not an item is useful at various points in the game, either early, mid, or late game. And when it comes to sets and runes and things like that, they only have sub-tier indications, so number of circles, of course, will indicate pretty much what tier that item is at. You know, is it an early game set item or is it a late game set item and has the maximum number of circles for a set, which is 4? You know, is it an early game rune which has 1 circle, or is it a burr rune which has 10 circles, you know, on either side? When it notifies it, you'll know how good the rune is when it drops just by how long risk next to it when it's perfect, and it doesn't have one when it's not perfect and it's flawless. Of course, it's an amount of interest. Honestly, for the longest time, my filter's been pretty underground because I personally disliked using it, but over time, you know, other people have come to like using it as well. But yeah, as you can see though, on the ground, you know, this is a thawing potion, so we really try to truncate things, make things as abbreviated as possible, including like this, for instance. You know, you'll see instead of perfect emerald, it just has a cross or an asterisk next to it when it's perfect, and it doesn't have one when it's not perfect and it's flawless. Of course, nothing below a flawless gem will show on a 91 plus character. I think that's even the case on a 41 plus or even maybe a 31 plus character, if I remember right. Because at that point, lower level gems, you don't need them to upgrade anything like in LODs. They're not that important in PD2. So right there you can see Tancred's military pick. Viper Fork, you know, this is a red tier unique with 1 circle. And it has some potential if you want to use it, but it's not a very common used item, so it's not going to be insanely high rated. A lot of tier 1 sets dropping right now. You can see, of course, it will notify every charm. And it will show all super potions and all full juice, so that's good. A lot of builds might prefer a potion ticking up rather than just using full juice, as full juice are more rare. It'll notify, of course, rare amulets. Those are kind of nice, right? But it will still show, like, blue arrows, for instance. And it'll show a lot of other socket bases that people might still find useful at this point in the game. This is a level 95 character, though. This filter is as strict as it can possibly get at this point. Notify a rune. It's a tier 1 rune. A soul rune. So yeah, a lot of potions drop, of course, but you'll notice it takes out all the scrolls, all the gold, all the crack stuff, all the other junk. So you notified the map there. It's a tier 1 map, and then it's rare, so it shows yellow. Sigil for Uber Ancients. Those will always notify with 1 circle. You see that all these random bases don't notify, so it doesn't tell me in that corner there that they're here. But if you press Alt or you have loot always showing, they will still show on the ground. So bases can always potentially be useful, and a lot of people don't want to trade for them, or most people don't bother like even keeping them to trade. So in a lot of cases, you got to be kind of self-sufficient there. There's a tier 2 set because it has 20 attack speed, which is kind of a useful stat even on like later tier builds. I would say once a set item reaches 2 circles or above, it becomes, you know, up to you whether or not you would still want to corrupt it at this point in the game. So you can kind of see it though. At least it's visible, and all sets and uniques will notify, all runes will notify. So those are some things that will always notify. There's a full rune, there's an ith rune. See, these are a lot of bases that could potentially just be good because they might get really high AD, and then you can corrupt them, or they might just be good for crafting. And since sets or sorry, since rare and blue items are so good in PD2 as well, they could just potentially be good straight up. But notice it doesn't notify most of this stuff, like random blue amulets, you know, these could be good for crafting depending on,
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really like this filter. The him one's the best one so far, but it's not working at the moment. Poison resist. Yeah, I really don't like it. You can't tell me what it is? Oh, hell nah. Hell nah. Ugh, I don't like the way that looks either.
Not even death can save you from me.
You're not even gonna shoot your laser beam? Oh yeah, dude, this is terrible. This loot filter is trash, dude. Hell no to that loot filter. Let's try Chrysler again. Whoa, Chrysler's not on. Is it? Or is it? No. No. Oh, dude, Chrysler. No, you suck. Okay, I like the way the runes look. Oh no. Alright. Well, that sucks. What's this one? Let's try this one. One. Okay. Tells me the crafting. The fuck does the like the tier? No, I don't like this one either. Damn. Alright, so another Cryzord. What about this one? Try this one. What in the fuck? Oh, this one's bugged too? Dude. Oh, bro, I can't even see that? Oh, fuck this filter. This filter's the worst one. Alright. What's this one? No. Is this the one we just did? Fucking lame, dude. Dude, all of them suck. The him one's the best, but it doesn't work, man. Alright, let's try this one. Going down the line, dude. Alright, it tells me what they are. Okay. Okay. That's not even showing up. Don't really like this one either. Fuck, man. Hitcaster. OD? I mean, I guess Pilla. Nadir. That's how it's two. Fringe. Blood belt, caster chest.
What do you need?
So I need to go to Act 5.
Grudge I knew. Good to see you. I am.
Good afternoon.
70D. 70 enhanced damage. 80. Spectral Shard is cool. 50% FCR. I don't know if I have Sanders, Ripsaw. This is good for.
If you're afternoon.
Low level dueling items. Cannot be frozen. Old arrow gamma item. Where's my best item? Does it say exceptional? I just need the hem filter to work.
Afternoon.
And challenge for it. Many people will be cheering for you as you embark on this challenge this season. With your goals in mind, please address your colleagues and the fans. I've not been streaming recently, so big thanks to my fans for their patience. Thanks to our CADA members, my friends from the CADA University for coming here to support me, as well as our boss, and Queen, Effort, Speed, Motive. I also have an amateur practice partner called Sokhyun. And Rush, Sharp, Bishop,
극적극적하고 계시는 장윤철 선수인데
Snow is scratching his head. Are you having a hard time remembering? For helping me practice. You practiced so much, I get it. Right, thank you. Yeah, make sure to reach out to them individually after this. Once more, congratulations on making the round of 8. Thank you. We've just heard from Snow, our first player through to the round of 8 today. Let's now take a look at the special gifts we have prepared exclusively for you, our loving ASL fans, provided by Google Play. Go to the Google Play app now. Click on your profile menu in the top right. Go to the Redeem Code tab under the Payments and Recurring Payments tab. And get ready to input the code. If everyone is ready, I will go ahead and very clearly, articulately read the code out loud. Let's reveal the second code. Today's code is QPGH8VXAJ6A31. I hope you got it. Let me read it out once more. I see some people have already succeeded. Let me repeat the code. It is QPGH8VXAJ6A31. The first 1,000 people to input the code will receive 1,500 points. Keep watching the ASL until the end. We also have an event for people attending in person. We have a cheerful event in the round of 16. We're giving away a Razer Kishi V3, the new standard in handheld consoles for mobile gaming. Make a tasteful sign supporting the players, and you might be one of the 5 lucky winners of this giveaway. We hope you participate actively. We have just one ticket to the round of 8 left up for grabs today. Who will be the player to claim it? We will take a short break and return with the losers and decide the matches.
Rainbow marking red, special color dark green gray, the normal item which has 6 sockets is stable crystal silver. 4 sockets, spears and pole arms. And only starter filter. Amulet level 31. Soulflay. Okay. Neophyte.
Oops. Did I do that?
Abaddon. Peace. Okay.
Follow me.
This is possible to cheese in the early game, you know. So who knows? Oregon is a good planner. He's a smart guy. He's the oldest guy ever in this round, and let's see what he can do. Match point to start. Oh, that's interesting. He's gonna what's he gonna do against offensive gas tastes with his big sexy brain? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, gas steal is just so likely here. Let's see what he does. You know, it's going to be tough for Oregon. He is a good planner, but Rain is a very robust player. You know, very good at pretty much any situation you put him in. We're going to match point here. A very Protoss favored match here to start. If the game can go on long enough, I think Terran can maybe come up with something. You know, there's not a lot of bases on this map, but really on a map like this, you got to watch the early game first.
Totally. If Oregon...
Rain in the bottom left, and excuse me, Oregon here, also known as Piano in the top right.
Yeah.
Rain is immediately setting to probe out here.
Yeah, you want to get that gas steal. There's no reason not to get the gas steal. It's just strong. A Terran, if you give him the option, will have you not gas steal them every time. You know? But two-player maps are part of the game, and... They tried on Litmus to make the second gas so that gas steal wouldn't be so crazy, but Litmus was a terrible map, so I don't know if that's actually like a good idea or not. Ooh, proxy gate as well. Well, this is... I feel like he's opening potential for this to work out for Oregon. Look at this. Oregon's going to go scout this immediately. I mean, you just got to cancel it, right?
I don't know. This was like the way everybody did it, and then everybody stopped doing it. And I was saying eventually it's going to come back up, and here we are. So the idea is that you would run out there, make a gateway, put pressure on, and then run in there and take the gas. And it seems like, you know, this has always been a thing, whether you take the gas or not. These kind of proxy gateway pressure builds, they're very strong. But they have gone off quite a bit. I mean, nowadays, the standard way to play is to fast expand and gas steal, or gate pressure and gas steal. Not gate pressure like we're seeing here, but really gate pressure like you have a gateway. The same place we saw Snow put it in game 1. So Oregon is actually going to lose this SEV?
What?
Oh, what?
I don't even know, man. I guess he was paying attention to the probe in his main base. That's unfortunate, though. Sending a second SCV already was kind of goofy because you're not going to kill the pylon before the Zealot's out, but maybe you can stall the Zealot. But, yeah, the fact that a second probe came out and killed an SCV is pretty rough for Oregon. By the way, when there's a proxy gate, you can gas steal. There's nothing wrong with that. I think you should. But it kind of plays itself for Terran. If you find a proxy gate, you make a second Rax. That's that is the answer that has been figured out. No one tries to kill the gas and take their own gas and go into factory. No, you go 2 racks, you make sure you can clear everything coming out of the proxy gate, and you get your factory when you can, or you do a cheesy all-in, of course.
Yeah, it's tough, but Terran can play this from here. The problem is that you've been denied your gas. Now, normally you see 1 gate into gas, so this is pretty cool to see Rain basically double gate here. I've actually not seen this variation, although I haven't really done this kind of cheese in a long time. Maybe this is what a lot of Terran or Protosses are doing. Artosis, you tell me.
No, it's not. It's pretty uncommon, but he sees 2 racks, so it's okay to make the 2 gate. You just don't commit with the Zealots. What you do is you make it really difficult for Terran to come out with their Marines. So for instance, when he has like, normally what you do against one gate is you just get enough Marines where you're like, yeah, I'm going to kill every single Zealot. You bring a couple SCVs with you and you go do it. Here, generally, and now see, he's committing a little bit heavy, but generally what you'll do as Protoss is to just keep making Zealots and go into Dragoons slowly but surely. And once there's Dragoons with that giant Zealot cloud, it's really hard to push through his Terran. Like, look at this right now. Like, he's trying to micro, but it's just, he doesn't have the right amount. We're getting very rain favored very quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, you're happy to trade these Zealots in here, and you're totally right, Artosis. The reality is you can tech onto your gas, and they don't really have the bandwidth or the units to recover the gas themselves. They have to attack that with Marines. They got to kill it with SCVs, which need to be mining. The Marines have to be defending. So you're teching into, and really it's the Dragoons that'll win the game. You can basically win this game with Dragoons in range.
Yeah.
So he finally kills the gas off. And remember, you know, the factory's got to be made somewhere, right? There's not actually that much room on this map, but it's not like Terran has control of the entrance, right? So you get enough Dragoons in here, they're just going to come and kill the SCV that's making the factory, or even snipe the tank as it comes out. And this is where Rain has to be careful. He doesn't want to overextend. SCVs have been pulled. Oregon's going to try to just come in here and fight back really hard. There's going to be 6 Zealots coming. 6 is a lot of Zealots.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage inbound here.
Oh,
and
boy.
the SCVs can be mowed down very quickly. Oh, God. Oh,
yeah.
No.
I feel like I'm watching one of my own replays. I've had this exact game happen to me before. Recently.
Yeah,
it's like
more Zealots than Marines now.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you can't be losing your Marines at all against this. When they go for that second gate, it's just 100% about scaling. You have to make such a cloud of Marines that the Zealots don't have a chance. And it's really hard to do, especially because, you know, they're going to go ahead and make the Dragoons. But if you lose basically any Marines, they're just gonna kill you. GG. These have been,
that's that.
Unfortunately, pretty embarrassing games for Oregon so far today. This actually is reminding me of Calm's games from the previous round. Remember Calm? Like, he had some cool ideas and then just died instantly twice. That's what Oregon's games are looking like tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he's in Terran hell right now. These are the most painful losses you can have in PvT. You know, obviously the gas steal, double gate. It's a very tough matchup in that position for the Terran to play it out. He got crushed. And then a very standard opening, you know, gate pressure from Snow. Snow just basically did the perfect maneuver and slit Oregon's throat and killed him.
Yeah.
So we're 2 now. And Oregon, he needs to, I mean, at least try to paddle this game into some place that's going to look like a developing TVP here. I mean, this is a guy who hasn't gotten a second command center up in his games yet tonight.
That is true.
I got 2 of these. Jailthol Am.
Okay, it's Rain in the top left and Oregon in the bottom left. And you know, let's see what exactly Oregon can come up with here. You know, there's nothing that says that either Snow or Rain have to end these games right away, but you know, the circumstances, whether they're the build order interactions or just the map and the way one race would play against the other one, we've had short games. But I want to see Oregon in a longer game, and I want to at least see Oregon in a game where he's going to try something he planned for and how it's going to look. Because I think he is a great planner, like Artosis was saying.
Yeah. His decision-making in these games, though, has been slightly off. And it's only slightly. Like, the Protoss players are jumping on it. Right? Against Snow, he didn't start the bunker on time. You have to.
Caster chest.
You just have to. Against
Caster
someone who's
gloves.
going double proxy gate, you just have to get the critical mass of Marines. You don't fight. You don't come out before you have it, because they need to be high health. You need to evaporate the Zealots, you know, and just keep going. And he just didn't do it. He was coming out trying to micro, like his micro was good and stuff, and if it was against one gate, that would have been fine. But it wasn't against one gate. Like, against one gate, you have to push faster because they're teching faster. Against 2 gate, you have to be patient, and you have to wait for your moment. And he just... It's funny to see the, you know, because he's a smart player. Like, he's getting through on planning. But then some of the decision making in these games is just making him lose.
Well, he's in these really tough games, and you really have to like hit every note, every beat of the build order. You know, not by, you know, just, oh, I remember to do this and do that, but like I have to do this at this second perfectly, or I won't be in the next, you know, 30 seconds, a minute of this game. And some of that I think does come down to pressure. You know, Oregon, he's a really old school player, but he was always, I mean, how do I say this? I mean, he was just always overshadowed by other players. He was kind of like a stormtrooper. You know, of the of the StarCraft universe, he was like a stormtrooper. You know, it just like a guy that would be in a tournament. He was good, but he would get killed off, and you know, the story went on. But I'm excited to see how well he's done this season. And there is something, I think, maybe because we're older and we've been playing forever, that when you see a guy who's finally kind of coming up, and you know, his planning is paying off, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
And it's nice because this game is so old. It's not like you missed your mark or it's too late. Like, the game's still here. It's always going to be here. So yeah, I mean, I hope we get more of a normal game. And by the way, this game looks like it should be that. Rain went for a gateway opening, probably in the gateway expand, unless we see some kind of a cheese. We'll know in a second here, but it looks like he's banking up to expand here.
And this is a really solid opening from Oregon. Getting to scout his opponent first. He didn't make the second depot just in case, but no zealot command, which means that he can just play this very easily. He doesn't have to rush to his bunker too fast if he makes 3 Marines. Look, oh, yeah, when Rain darted in, they showed the vision there that he didn't see the command center. So he's actually scouting for a proxy. He's he completely has no idea what Oregon's doing.
My God.
Oregon's doing like...
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you noticed that, Artosis. I was taking a drink of water, so I actually did not see that. That's crazy. So this is like a pretty big fail here from Rain. It might not amount to anything, but he's running off of completely incorrect information.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, StarCraft and a lot of the complexity doesn't just come from like you have to be doing all these things at once and you have to have this like, deep understanding of the situation, but it's there's all this incomplete information, right? And every once in a while, and it really only happens with good players, but they scout something and they pull out too fast and actually end up with the wrong information. They scout something and in his mind he goes, there's no command center, oh my God, I'm being cheesed. Or this is a 2 factory, right? He might think that there's, you know, tanks, accumulates and tears, and Vulture's going to come after that. And that can send you just on this, like, completely false set of assumptions about what the game's going to look like. And it can make for a very, very awkward mid-game.
Yeah.
So he's checked everywhere. He's going to come down with the Dragoon again. And, you know, let's see what he can actually figure out here. He did go Hobbs, right? Or did he go for Reaver from here?
I believe he's going Observer. Well, I guess
the Robo's not even done. Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah. By the way, Oregon's opener here, there's some interesting things going on with it, right? So this is like the 3rd greediest opener that Terran has. It's like kind of the safest greedy opener. And he's gotten away with it without any problem whatsoever. And in fact, Rain is putting on some range pressure, which normally is pretty good against this build, but because he has to stand slightly on some of that low ground area, he's not hitting every single shot, so it's not really that scary. The way he did this, he accounted for range coming. So he got the second factory slower, was still able to get his second gas, and is going into siege right away. So like he's perfectly parrying everything so far. He's even got his missile turret just in case. Like this is a very well executed.
Forgot to do it.
Expansion.
I'm so worried about this Lu filter.
He's even gonna put this on the high ground.
I'm trying to like pay attention to all.
Like super duper extra safe.
So now I gotta walk back.
Is you siege your tank up there as opposed to down there. If you siege it at the bottom, sometimes the goons can run in and snipe it. But he picks off a few SCVs, and yeah, like this is a pretty standard looking game overall.
Yeah, and Rain's just going to expand again here. He's the fastest expanded build. He had the 3 gates, I think he was worried about a rush. But you know, even when you get the 3 gates, you don't have to take that, right? There's a lot of moments you kind of kind of identify,
Weapon block?
okay, so this isn't, you know, what I thought it was. We're going to park this. We're going to go back into making probes. We're going to get more tech. And we're going to use these gateways a little bit later. The Observer is going to come through here with a very clean scout. You can see literally everything. Everything that's there and everything that's not there. He does need to wait and just see if there's a third factory or a command center or tech of some sort. But, you know, we're getting into the kind of PvT we were kind of hoping to see, Artos, is one where, like, Oregon gets to at least do something that he planned for instead of, you know, trying to, you know, instead of a game where he goes, oh my God, my hair's on fire, and tries to put it out.
Yeah. It's interesting the way he's playing this, by the way. Typically, it won't look like this, where you go the second factory, no add-on for a while, and get mines and lay mines defensively in your main base. Like, he's very, very well defended, but Rain is just taking a fast third, and there's no real intel for Oregon. Oregon's playing kind of single player here, and we don't know yet what his aim is, because he just keeps defending. It doesn't look like he's trying to get a super fast third. It doesn't look like he's trying to do a push, because like the 2 factory push timings have all kind of gone away. Like, he's got 5 tanks. Sometimes people do 5 tank pushes, but like, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this plan is. Like, normally you'd be adding factories now. Okay, so he is going to go for 6 factory. Okay, this is probably just going to be a two base push. I don't think he's going to try to set up another base.
Yeah, it's interesting he planted the mines. He clearly thought maybe there was going to be a drop coming in here or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't, it's not the end of the world, but like those mines could have been used in fights. You know? Especially if you're going to just like power up on 2 bases. By the way, on this map, you know, that little low ground area, right where the Observer's sitting, kind of dips down and goes back up. Dragoons can fight tanks really nicely when the tanks are over. I guess he's not going to have an opportunity with these siege tanks setting up over here like they are now. But, you know, what he can do is kind of stall the Terran out, make it harder to kind of move out of this position and just power up on 3 bases. And, you know, Rain's always had a very, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but a very basic approach. Yeah. Like, he plays a very safe game. He's going to get the Reaver now. This is going to pair really nicely with the Dragoons. And you can kind of just, like, shut Scarabs and Dragoon shots into anything that's going to try to leave and buy time.
Yeah.
And behind this, you're making probes. You're getting a lot more units out of the gateways, and you're kind of looking for this, like, it's like a battle Protoss style. Like, you're going to try to just hit the push hard and weaken it and maybe take, like, a really late 4th base. But for now, you just make it. You're up 1 base. You're just going to power up, and you're looking for a fight.
Yeah, he's perfectly countering. Like, if I were to write down exactly on a piece of paper how to stop a 5 or 6 factory push, so you get your 3rd up quick, you force them to siege a little bit with the Reaver in the front, you get Zealot like this. That is exactly how you hold a push like this. That is exactly what he's doing here. That's the nice thing about Rain's play. There's like a certain simplicity to it where you look at it and you just kind of nod and you're like, yep, that makes sense. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, that being said, you never know. Like, Oregon might control this push really well. There might be some miss micro from Rain. Maybe Oregon can still push through this. But this is exactly how you're supposed to hold on against this.
Okay,
so I feel like Rain is very, very favored here. Like, look, he's already forcing sieges. That's all you want. You force the sieges. Every siege you force, man, that's taking time up for Terran. And it gives you extra rounds of Zealots. Look at how many speed Zealots he has.
Yeah.
By the way, that is a huge amount of Goliaths. I can't believe how many Goliaths he made.
Yeah, well, I think he's got range, and he wants to try to snipe whatever's going to be, you know, like that. He wants to try to hit the shuttle.
Yep.
He's going to kill the OBS. By the way, there's 2 more Reavers back at home. And, okay, I was about to say, he's going to have a shuttle with that here, too. Zealot's speed is going to be done soon. And I think he's basically just trying to buy a little bit more time. Is the Scarab going to dud? Okay, hold on. We got another big move out here. He's forcing them to siege. Is he going to actually do this?
I'm surprised Rain is
going to go for it.
Attacking him right at the second.
I think he messed up.
Yeah. Kind of a weird
the Zealots
push.
went in and the Dragoons didn't.
Yeah, right? Like, that was not well done from Rain. And in fact, it was weird that Oregon did that as well. Like from both sides, I'm like, well, that was a weird kind of engagement. Oregon going to continue to come over this ramp. It looks like he'll finally get rid of the Reaver. But Rain is making a fourth Nexus. He's nonstop coming down. Look at this. He has a DT mixed in. A really nice touch there. Oregon has good supply.
Well, hold on a second. He's going to come in now. There should be Reavers inside of this too. So if he could just drop these in between the shots with the Zealots, I mean, this is just going to be brutal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he knows exactly what he's doing here. He's going to get some beautiful shots off. I think that's probably the end of this game here. I mean, he's basically now juggling the Reaver in between the shots. It looks amazing. And, you know, now we see, by the way, the fourth base being taken at the far top right. There's no command center. This is really how you beat a two-base push. And, you know, like I was saying earlier, I think when the show started, I brought it up, actually. If you want to learn Protoss, Rain's probably just the best guy to follow. It's really straightforward. You don't have to be like, you know, a god tier at the game for it to just make sense what he's doing. Like, he got Dragoons, he got the contain up, he realized, okay, this is going to be a two-base all-in from Terran. I'll get a Reaver, and then I'll get, after my third base is done, I'll get just mass Zealots with speed. He even messed it up and basically still crushed.
Yeah. You know, I think in everything in life, really strong understanding of fundamentals is the best thing you can have. It's really fun to watch, like, teched out builds, like what Oregon showed last round, or a lot of Royal games, that type of thing, or mini-playing, for instance. But, like, just the fundamentally playing correctly, following, like, the principles of StarCraft and doing the right thing and moving the units correctly. That's the highest value you can get, which is why it's so good to study Rain. And, like, he just... This was completely basic from him. It's just like, okay, I see that you're doing that push. Reaver slows you. I get legs and 8 gates. And then you just can't do anything. And now Oregon is in this position where it's like, Rain can do basically anything here. Oregon is in such a bad spot. Look at this. A ton of mines in there. Okay, great. But the mines are going to help kill the siege tanks as well.
Yeah, and I mean, here he can just smash this. He's got Templars now with Sidestorm. That's always the next step whenever you do this. And the Sidestorms are flanking so beautifully. And Oregon's dead. There's no way to get anything done from here. Protoss can keep growing, and Terran can't grow at all. And every time Terran moves out, more tanks are going to be killed off. Those tank numbers are going to get lower and lower. I mean, Oregon, you know, he had a great run, but I think this is the end of his story for Season 21. These Zealots are going to come through here and just destroy everything. And Rain, I think, you know, as he always has, just, you know, sometimes the best players are not, like we were saying, Artosis, not the ones that have the most teched out stuff. The ones that have kept the games so simple.
Yeah.
And so easy. And that's exactly what he did here. There was nothing fancy about it. He got a read early on. He played very safe. He went the exact correct tech route to counter what his opponent did. And then he controlled his units actually not that well and still made it work.
Yeah. It was beautifully done. Well, that's the thing. There's more room for error if you're playing a fundamentally correct game. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing the right thing, you can maybe make a little mistake in control or a little blip in macro or something. Because, like, strategically you're doing it right and your basics are all there. And that's... You know, that's what makes the grades great. Oregon is...
He looks incredible.
Yeah, Oregon's trying to make something happen here, but... Yeah, he already knows that he's dead, but he's trying to put up a good fight. Understandable, right? Like, you never know if he'll be back in ASL. It's been a really long time since he's been in ASL. Like, I can't remember what the last season he was in, but I think it was like maybe season 6 or something. Like, it was a very long time.
I think he was in one more season in between that. One or
maybe.
I feel like I have some memory of casting him somewhere in there.
Yeah. Well, he has been in a few, but it has been a while, right? He's been mostly doing like commentary and stuff. But,
right.
Old commentating Terrans are, you know, they still got some spunk in them, Tasteless.
Yeah, they are.
Or I hope so, at least.
Some say they're the best, man. By the way, Oregon did get his third base up. You know, we were kind of dismissing his position in this game, but Rain did not pull the trigger. Now, Rain's taking a different approach here, and I think this is great. He's going to storm drop this area here. And, oh, is it just one Templar? Where's the rest of the Templars?
Yeah, you needed a second one. A second storm would have killed like every SCV. Yeah. Instead, he just damaged a lot of them. Oh, there's the second.
I saw a bad rally here with the gateways. A lot of times you're doing the 1A, 2A, like you're you know, all the way up the hotkey list. Sometimes you end up grabbing a gateway that you hotkeyed in the middle set of the numbers on the keys. And then you have like one gateway rallied there the whole game, just hemorrhaging units. So, okay, let's zoom out here. Rain has not stopped the third base. This game does go on.
Yeah.
It is still very Rain favored. If you notice in this game, Rain is doing everything he needs to do to kind of secure this position now that we are in mid-game. But we need to see more gateways probably in the top right if it were to be really comfortable. I think Rain is probably going to try to come here for like a best style bust because he is so ahead. He should be able to make something work here. Although, my God, there's a lot of tanks at an angle that's hard to hit in here.
Yep. He does have a strong army here. A lot of his vultures are way out of position. This is kind of how Rain plays. When he gets ahead, he just tries to kill you. And this is pretty wasteful. You know, like this was not a good attack by any means.
Well, there's no Templars with this.
Yeah.
Like, look at that just juicy chunk of tanks and vultures. Like, 2 storms on that would be incredible. And I gotta say, you know, Rain, you know, it's a bit of a Tulbo moment here. You know, he's being a little bit sloppy. He's had the game won. And see, there are the Templars there now. So a lot of times the idea is you would send like a shuttle or two with zealots and bomb the tanks and try to draw their fire as your units close in. But you do want to shuttle, and he's going to storm drop again. You know, there's a lot of ways to close a game out. This is maybe not the cleanest.
No.
It's not like we're judging, you know, a diving competition where they have to do it perfectly. I mean, a win is going to be a win no matter what. But this is kind of a clunky closer here. He's going to get another storm off. And dude, Oregon's got a 4th base now.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you'll be playing these games and it's like going so poorly, but you're not dead yet. And then your opponent really doesn't deliver. And that could be one of these games here. Like, I think Rain has very badly overestimated his position. The cannons are going to go down up here. Dude, now this looks like my games are going.
Yeah.
This is me watching my replay. I'm just like, I should just quit this game. This is rough. He's losing probes at third base. Again, we have attacks like, you know, all tier 1 units that, you know, kill off half the army, and then storm drops, and then another attack with a bunch of tier 1 units, and then another storm drop, where it seems like there were 2 separate moments. You could have just combined the 2 into a force that would have obliterated at least the third base. But now, you know, Terran is spreading like cancer here on the map if you're the Protoss. This is really, when they're on 4 bases and you already had a game where you stopped a 2-base bust, I mean, if you go back and look at what was wrong this game, it was back when you let him take that third base.
Even if he can force the third base, the attack into it when Rain was basically maxed on 5 bases, where like it was just this bad attack move. Half his army went over the bridges. There's a million sea chinks there clumped, 0 psi storms as you pointed out. Like that was just a really, it's like Rain gets lazy when he knows he has the game won, and you can't do that. You know? He was so far ahead, and the thing is, you can see now he's starting to put the effort back in. I think this is something that can happen as well when you're a really talented player like Rain, where you're like, boring, like I've already done it, you know, and you're just like shipping it in and attack, moving until your opponent dies. Like, he's still gonna win this game, but it has not been clean.
No, it's been a very sloppy game, you know, after he got what we would say is the winning lead here.
Yeah.
Now he's going to come and watch the shuttle carefully. He's going to drop 1 Templar, storm where he can. He's actually going to unload all of them like it's a storm drop. Beautifully done. And that's going to really soften that up. And once these zealots get up here, yeah, all these tanks are going to get blown up. He might have to back up with the Dragoon. You pretty much have to turn around after all the zealots die. Dragoons are not going to be doing that much damage unless you have like an overwhelming amount of them. But that move that we saw there, that's what we were basically looking for earlier to have a weapon close the game out. Uh-oh, bleeding out Templars here.
Yeah. Rain, you know, he removes so many tanks there. It's going to be really hard to refill for Oregon. Oregon, like, yeah, look at this supply. He's at half the supply right now, 76 against 146. Really, at this stage of the game, if you drop below about 150 supplies, Karen, it's pretty grim. You just don't really have enough to do anything. GG is called, and that'll be the end of Oregon's run here in ASL. This round definitely not as impressive as the last, but a much harder round as well. Rain moves on to the final match.
That's right. This is going to give us one more match here for Group B. And this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be Rain going up against Hero. This is like a finals from the path, basically. I mean, you couldn't ask for more of a crazy PvZ, but Hero's looking very, very dangerous. Props to Oregon. You know, he had a great run here. I think it was a very disappointing day, but honestly, a lot of really tough games. And Rain's early game to shut down the 2-base timing, which is basically what Oregon was going for in that game. Oregon had no, aspirations for a 4-base game. That's kind of where it ended up.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, short break. Final best of 3 coming up next.
What do you need?
You are worthy.
Falling off the deep end when we're not feeling the rush. Forget about the days that we would do and we're in love. I find it hard to not think of you.
Use that yet.
At the end of every day, I wonder why it's not enough to hold you in my arms and feel the break from them numbs. I find it hard to not think of you.
We'll throw. We'll swing. That would be really good. Hard helmet for the group. It's literally got the synergies needed.
All right, everybody, this is it. Hero versus Rain. I think we can all agree, no matter who moves on here, it's going to be popular. These are truly 2 round of 8 players.
Oh, that's for sure. In fact, round of 4, more likely for these two. Yeah, I'm very excited to see who ends up taking this. I'll be honest, I was leaning towards Rain before, but I felt like Hero was playing really well, even from bad positions against Snow. It feels like Hero's in good shape here today, so I'm not so sure who's going to end up taking this.
I think Hero looks a lot stronger.
Yeah?
At least from what we saw with Rain. I think that last game was a little bit worrisome. I mean, Hero played a really good game against Snow and barely lost. So Rain's going to have to really bring it. I think he's someone who can bring it. But, you know, there are few players in the entire over a quarter of a century history of StarCraft that are stronger than Hero, especially right now. He's been consistently very, very good. Okay, we got Hero in the top left and Rain in the bottom right.
That's right. Before this game really gets going, we do want to suggest that you guys walk over to patreon.com/ASL English. A big thanks to everyone who has subscribed. You guys are how we keep this thing going, and a big thanks to everyone who's done that again. Like, it's truly, you guys are amazing. The community is awesome, and this is the best game ever. So thank you for helping us keep it alive.
Yeah, guys, we really appreciate it. We love doing this, and we want to keep doing it forever, you know. And the best part is we can keep doing it forever. You know, this game's in a state that no game has gotten to yet, and it's always going to be ahead of that. You know, if another game does catch up to it, because like it's the oldest OG esport, and it's still popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of games, it's like the third year of their esport, and they're like, oh my god, is it dying? Or like, what does this mean? And what about this new game that came out? This game doesn't have to worry about any of that. So we're going to be here forever. And yeah, we want to just keep doing this. Patreon.com/ASL. We love you guys.
Yeah,
actually, this game.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wonder in like 100 years, right, where basically everyone that's a Brood War fan right now, let's say we're all dead in 100 years, is there going to be a completely new crop that still loves the game?
That's a good question. You know, I guess first of all, I don't think the pros are going to be stopping as they get older, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going to have pros in their 50s easily.
For sure.
I mean, if you're going into your 40s doing this, I don't know why the 50s are stopping, or even maybe the 60s, but they do have these programs to recruit a lot of younger people. I mean, the bulk of the people that are playing now are older. I would assume if there's an ecosystem with money and it's popular, it'll be there in one form or the other. But it's going to be up to the older generation to kind of pass the torch down to the younger generation. They've done it with chess, they've done it with other games that, you know, have been played through generations. But yeah, you know, I think it's going to come down to, you know, who would fill that in. And by the way, I think there's enough material information now. And imagine how good people are going to be in 10 years. The game should be good enough that there should be a draw for it. I would also imagine League of Legends will always be here, and some of these other games that are just gargantuan out here.
Yeah, I think so. It definitely feels that way with a few fighting games too. So, taking a look at this, cross spawns here. Pretty quick gas from Hero once again for that third hatch. He's going to go ahead and make a third hatch at 12. And a good block here from Rain. That cannon is kind of funnily way inside. What is with that cannon placement? It feels odd.
So, this is partially, the pylon placement. I've seen this on some Protoss wall-ins where instead of putting the pylon touching the Nexus in the bag, you have it like all to one side or all to the other side. I would think you could still put the cannon further back. I don't know about the cannon where it is right now. I personally always like having the cannon, one cannon placement further back.
Yeah.
So that it's harder for the Hydras to hit. It's like the cannon in the back covers the cannons that could warp into the front, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's a layer from here on, so that might not come into play. Doesn't look like he's trying to be tricky at all. It is cross map anyways, so that does make any rush kind of, a bit weaker. You can scout it more easily with the Corsair going across, and you simply have more time before the Hydras go across. So maybe a macro game coming out of Hero here. And I think this is going to be a great test for Rain. Show, can he play that just really strong, normal macro game that we saw from Snow and Silver.
He's going to send the probe back again. But these Lings are doing a great job just hunting this down. He did slip the Zealot out. There's a lot of techniques if you go Forge first to basically still get a scout off. And usually it's paired with a Zealot and a probe both being active on the map. And it's kind of crazy to see. I mean, he just got the Zealot out. I don't think there's anything ready for the Zealot at all. I don't know how this happened. Okay, he's sending a couple Lings back here, so he must know something. But, right now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I just see drones hashing, man. But the Zealot can probably just run right into the game and confirm that, and then just run behind the middle. It could be fine.
Yeah. Seems like really good usage of that Zealot. The Ling's going to eventually catch up to it. He sees the Spire go down right in his face. Anytime I see someone throw a building down right in my face, I get very paranoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, this guy's so good.
Well, it's like when I used to play tournaments against In Control, that's what he would do. He'd like throw a Hydralisk den down right in front of my scouting SCD to make sure I saw him or something.
Oh yeah, I made that shit. I was like, oh, you idiot, you're gonna make a Hydra den against me and died of you.
Exactly. So whenever I see that, I always have flashbacks to losing tournament games where I'm like, well, clearly this is Mutalisk. It's like, no, it's absolutely
My brothers will not have to.
So he's going to go for that Spire. I mean, when you see the Spire, that is the normal thing. The Spire just means Scourge to start. It gives you the option to go meters later on, but you basically need to have some Scourge to try to chase away Corsairs, and then the game cools off a bit, because you both have the counters. The Protoss can't die to Mutas, the Zerg can't lose Overlords to Corsairs. And almost all PvZs kind of look like this now because the matchup has been sorted in a lot of ways.
Yeah, this is
This class is so
stock standard
busted.
here. I do wonder.
You just
if
ramp
Hero
at
is
this
going to be
level.
ending up going for the Muta Scourge that he went for against Snow. It didn't seem like it worked that well against Snow. Maybe against Rain it would be a bit stronger. But I would caution Hero there because Rain has a very specific style in PvZ. Like he really likes a